this. Fresh off the Palm Beach County, that's where I'm from. Where niggas get gunned down and left slung from. Thumbs up for fucking round. This ain't accounting for you bitches to come around.
What up? What up? And welcome to another episode of the unofficial podcast of the National Football League, the world famous and critically acclaimed 5-6 Kings podcast. I'm David Breen. With me, as always, my dear friend. I noticed I'm a little off frame, so I'm gonna scoot closer. I think you're solid.
Okay.
I was a little off, like half my body's just not in it, and the people watching this are probably like, "Oh, what the hell's going on there?"
Yeah.
And co-host Braden Bullard. Braden, how are you, man?
David, I'm good, but I'm also like in this weird spot. I know, I said this right before we clicked play, but I got this burp and it's stuck. It's stuck like right here. And I feel very weird about it.
Yeah, you should have.
It's like
gotten it out.
It's like I'm comfortable, but I'm right at that bar where it's like, this is kind of uncomfortable.
So right before we hit play, I burped, and then Braden's like, "Well, I want to burp," and then he was like, "I can't burp." It'll come. It'll come. I can't burp. It'll come. I promise.
I'm just.
And then immediately drew attention to it when we started recording. First chance he had, he's like, "I gotta talk about this burp, guys."
It's like, have you ever heard the hiccup trick? When someone's having bad hiccups, you just tell them to hiccup, and it just stops the hiccup.
I've never heard that.
I've
heard scare him.
David
I've heard
Straley.
hold your breath. I've heard drink water upside down. Never heard hiccup.
Oh, David Straley is amazing at it. It's like reverse psychology, and he gets like right in your face. He's like, "Fucking burp for me, you pussy. You can't fucking burp."
Hiccup.
Or hiccup. Yeah. Hiccup. I'm just thinking about the burp. Hiccup, bitch. You fucking pussy. You can't hiccup for me right now. Swear to God. It works every time.
All right, yeah, try it.
Yeah. Next time you have hiccups.
Can I do it to myself?
Nah.
Like if I'm in my apartment, just be there. I'm having a
slapping
hiccup. I'm like, "Come on, you fucking pussy! You can't do anything, David." I'm just looking at myself in the mirror.
Yeah, maybe.
You can't do anything. You can't hiccup.
You got to be very sincere about it, though. Like you gotta.
Oh,
You gotta mean it.
All-star guy. I absolutely mean
David
it.
meant it.
Yeah.
But how are you doing, bud?
Doing all right. With the way we're recording, it feels, I don't want to say strange or wrong, but talking about the Dolphins just feels off because we're recording this fresh off of them losing in San Francisco in a game that was just Tua had his worst game of the season by a mile.
Yeah, what'd you think about those two challenges on the last drive?
The first one, I don't know how they overturned it.
Yeah.
And I hate when they're like, "Well, remember, the refs have angles that we don't have." Why? Why does that exist? Why? Because they never explain it. They're never like, and it's important that they have the angles and we don't have them.
Yeah.
For what it makes no sense. Mike Gesicki, I don't know. They were arguing. It looked like he was down out of bounds and didn't have possession, and he's out of bounds, out of the field of play. I don't think he caught it.
Second one was close. Yeah.
The Gesicki
would have
one,
been
the
amazing.
Gesicki one out of bounds. I didn't think it was a catch. Trent Sherfield, I thought was a catch, but also they went for it on fourth down the very next play and got it. So
Yeah.
it didn't
Matter.
make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Disappointing game though. They ran the ball 8 fucking times. That's my gripe with Mike McDaniel. Run the foot, and especially first play of the game was 75-yard touchdown pass. Like, okay. And then right after that, it was very clear, okay, Tua's a little off today. He's missing open throws that he just hasn't been missing this season. Try to lean on your run game some.
Yeah.
You can't run the ball 8 times in an entire football game.
No, yeah.
And have the defense out on especially if Tua's hitting all of his throws, I guess you can.
Yeah.
But when your quarterback's just out of rhythm, missing throws, under pressure, you're down an O-lineman, and it really, in big moments, it showed.
Yeah, because I heard there was a couple.
Nick Bosa getting sacks late in the game, like it showed up then. But for the most part, it wasn't a huge issue.
But
not having Teron Armstead.
Is that like the reason why you think they didn't run it as much? It's because of like the offensive linemen?
I have no idea. No, because if anything, you'd want to lean on the run game with if you're down no lineman.
Yeah.
You don't want to put Greg Little on an island and force him to, have to pass block Nick Bosa one-on-one. You'd rather him. You can you could scheme it up. You can run away from Greg Little. You can run right behind him. He's a big body. Like,
Yeah.
I don't. 8 times is an unacceptable amount of times to run it.
Yeah.
So I hope, especially Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert have both looked good all year.
Yeah.
So I hope when you guys listen to this, none of what I'm saying right now fucking matters, and they are fresh off a win in Los Angeles against the Chargers, who Dolphins are a much better team than.
Yeah.
So we'll see how they respond to the loss in San Francisco. Because I don't want to call the Chargers game a must-win, but it's tough. You'd rather be 9-4 going to Buffalo, where if you win the game, you're in first in the AFC East, as opposed to being 8-5 going to Buffalo, and it's a must-win as far as like being in the playoffs still.
Yeah.
It's, the next 2 weeks are going to say a lot about the Miami Dolphins football team, and hopefully you guys are listening to this, and the first week has already happened. And we're looking at 9-4 Miami Dolphins traveling to Buffalo,
God
taking on
willing.
the Bills.
Yeah.
Saturday night, primetime football. Back-to-back primetime games. Love to see it. So we'll see. Finn's up.
Finn's
Home Alone
fucking
2.
up, but I do got it since we're.
I don't
since,
care. Home Alone 2.
No. Since you touched on sports, we got to touch on the Stephen Thompson and Kevin Holland fight. Did you see it?
No.
Dude,
I
it
want
was
you to
amazing.
we will never come in here fresh off of a fucking UFC fight night where I'm like, oh yeah, I watched it.
Oh, David.
I'm not that level of an MMA fan at this stage in my life.
Oh.
It's football season right now. I'm not watching Wonder Boy versus Kevin Holland. I'm sure the fight was awesome.
It was probably fight of the year. Like, no, I'm not even kidding.
No, I believe you.
It was amazing.
I believe you. But
It was by far one of the best fights I think I've ever seen.
but Wonder Boy, like, that doesn't get me excited.
Huh? What?
Neither of those two. Because what's Wonder Boy gonna do?
Oh, man. I mean, hopefully get
Is
some.
he gonna go fight for a belt? Like,
Well, I was gonna say, hopefully
for,
get some
for
ground
the 8th
game.
time in his career and get the shit beat out of him. Like,
Man,
that's kind of.
you should have saw it though, David.
I'm sure it was awesome.
Dude.
They're two great fighters.
Yeah, and let me just explain just something really quick. Kevin Holland wanted to try and beat Stephen Thompson at his own game, and oh my god, bro, that man ended up putting on a clinic. Like it was amazing. It was the amount of different style of kicks and how fast it was, and the way he was switching up from the hands to the feet, changing levels. Everything was amazing. In and out the pocket, circling. His feet work was just phenomenal.
Just a regular Braden Bullard.
Yes. No, but David, you got to watch it. If you guys haven't seen it,
I'm not going to.
You gotta-
Don't say you got to watch it.
You gotta watch it,
I'm
bro.
not going to like go home and sit on YouTube
Yes.
for 25 minutes and watch Wonder. And I know the result.
But
I know the result. I'm not.
I was
I
jaw
don't
dropped.
care. You're like, oh, now I'm going to try that kick Wonder Boy did there because that was really cool. I'm never going to do that. I know the result, so
But even
I'm
just
not.
watching
I'm not
it, it's-
emotionally invested because I know what happens.
True.
I know Wonder Boy wins the fight.
But
So, like, for me, I'm not you. For you, it makes sense. For you, you're like, of course we'd watch it. Of course. Like, no. Like, I want to be emotional. Like, I want adrenaline. I want to be like, here we go. Who's going to win? I don't care. Like, I've seen Wonder Boy do a lot of really cool shit. I don't need to. If it was a first-round knockout and you were like, you got to go watch it, I'd go watch it. I'd be like, okay, cool.
I'll say one
I can
other
commit
thing.
to 4 minutes.
It's
25 minutes. Fuck you.
It's amazing that Kevin Holland wasn't knocked out, and I mean
There
that
we
with like
go.
respect. But he got hit so many times, like
Oh,
clear kicks.
Kevin Holland, nothing but respect for
Bro,
5, 6 kicks.
Hey, you know,
Nothing. Mad respect, Kevin Holland.
I mean, he beats the shit out of anyone talking shit online. I don't know if you've seen the videos, David, but
No, that's
no,
ridiculous.
seriously, like he calls out people who talk shit online, and they'll show up at the gym, and Sean Strickland did it too, and they beat up trolls, bro. Like literally call out trolls, bring them to the ring, and beat them up.
The trolls show up at Kevin Holland's gym.
Swear to God.
Why?
Dude,
Who the fuck are these people?
I don't know. They think, and Sean Strickland, and yeah.
You know, if Kevin Holland called you out, would you show up?
Fuck no, dude. no, dude. The guy's like 6'5", and fucking made of steel. From watching Stephen Thompson hit him with the type of shots that he hit him with, and for him to just sit there and smile, I'm like, that takes any hope.
So I think
For me.
you'd want to go. No, you'd want to go now.
Oh, right.
because he's beaten up.
Yeah,
Yeah, he just got beaten up. He's in pain.
Yeah.
I think you could take him. Kevin Holland, Braden's in. Braden's in, but it's got to be this week. All right,
Yeah,
you got to
yeah.
respond immediately, and Braden will show. He might train in Florida. Does he train?
You
If
know,
you like America Top Team down in Pembroke Pines?
for some reason,
I'll
I wanna
drive you.
say
I'll drive
Vegas,
you. It'll be
but-
great.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. Kevin Holland, just reach out to us. Braden's in 4 weeks end.
Oh God.
And you know what? And this is coming out next week, so it doesn't even fucking matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
All right,
fuck.
Home Alone. Let's talk about it. Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. It's the sequel to the original Home Alone.
Yeah.
For those of you who weren't sure.
And not a spoiler or anything, but you know, takes place in New York.
Yeah, and someone's lost. But who?
I wonder who it could be.
But who? Oh man, this is gonna suck.
Oh man,
It's
that,
just not. You gonna make your limp? Say it. Say it. You wanted to. And you're
I
like,
was-
"Oh, I'm not
yeah.
gonna say it. I'm not
that
gonna say
mic's
it."
looking a little limp, David.
I know.
Maybe you gotta just tighten the bass, you know, and just
Don't tell me how to live my life. All right.
all right. Just as long as it's, you know, just as long as it gets your voice, then
There we go. I think we're good.
check, mic 2 1 2. You sound great.
I think we're fine.
Yeah.
All right. Budget. So I looked up the budget for Home Alone 1, so I had some sort of reference. That was $18 million. I'm gonna guess, and they made $467 million. Home Alone 1 did. So I'm gonna guess they were like, we got some cash to spend, and we're gonna spend it, but not like an egregious amount. I'm gonna say $45 million budget.
Lower.
Lower, a lot lower.
Not like a lot, but yeah,
35 million.
lower.
25 million.
28.
28 million.
I
Ju-
mean,
Future. It's over a 33% decrease from what I said.
I was like,
So-
is that a lot?
so that's
It's
a
like-
lot.
Yeah,
That's a lot,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
33% is a lot. I'm not close. I'm gonna guess they made less than the original, because I think if they made more, and with the fucking low enough budget that it was, they would have just never stopped making these fucking things. So I'm sure they made a lot though. I'm gonna say they made $350 million.
Jesus, David. Very close. 350.
353.
358.
358. Look at that.
Look at that.
They happy with that?
They are happy with
Apparently not, because
Well-
they didn't make a third.
that. Well, they wanted to, fun fact, but it was just the whole they couldn't get Macaulay Culkin to film, and just like they
It's
didn't
insane.
want.
That's
'cause-
insane.
Well, it's not that he didn't want to do it. It's just that they didn't give the okay. But a big part of the reason why they wanted to go back to back like shooting and filming these movies
Repeat. C3.
is
Repeat.
because his age. It just takes so long to film, and like he just grew up too fast. Yeah.
Ain't they all?
Yeah, don't-
Ain't they all?
right?
Yeah. I think it's crazy that they didn't make it work,
Right?
because $28 million budget on this one, 18 on the first one, so $46 million, and they made fucking north of $800 million.
Yeah.
Like you
You do
just-
that shit all day.
You pay whatever cost to make the third one.
Yeah.
You just fucking go, all right, Macaulay, do you want $10 million to do this movie? Because we'll give you $10 million.
Sacrifice a couple of your childhood years.
Yeah, and just come
to
do it. Like who?
Be rich forever.
Yeah, Richie Rich. You did a whole movie.
Can you
About
imagine
being a rich kid? And yeah, that it was a sad. Oh, I don't have any friends, and this guy's gonna pay kids to come play with me and shit. But whatever. All right,
Come on.
live it up, Richie Rich.
Yeah.
What
Can
else?
you can you imagine it was the family though that was like, we want him to have like a regular childhood, so we're gonna turn down the $10 million.
Want to have a regular childhood. That's why we had him do The Good Son and Richie Rich and 2 of these fucking movies. Like,
Now we're at the
now
point.
we want him to have the regular childhood. We were
Yeah.
good with it until now, but now let's
Yeah.
go. And Uncle Buck. Jesus, he was making fucking movies, this kid.
God.
Reviews, what are they saying about it?
Well, David, IMDb gave it a 6.8 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 35%. Letterboxd Because who doesn't like their box being lettered? Give it a
Fucking love my box letters.
right? 3.4 out of 5, and Google users gave it a 90%. Still, once again, 10% is just like, I gotta go. hit
But
thumbs down.
90% went to Google and we're like, oh, I loved it. It was great. What do you give it? What do you give it?
I give it a 6.8.
Just because you didn't want to do 6.9?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
This movie, I think in general, is better than the first. I think I'd rather watch this one than the first, but here's the issue. The fact that the first one exists makes this a not good movie.
Yeah.
It was just callback after callback to the first one.
Exactly.
And these piece of shit parents who make it seem like last year was his fault.
Yeah.
And so like guys, I've not watched this as an adult. It is wild, the fucking just guilting they do to this poor kid. So I'm gonna give it 5.5.
Yeah.
For that, I think if this was by itself, just the first movie, and not so many callbacks to a previous movie, and not blaming your child for you forgetting him at home and not being able to get him, I think it's a better movie.
I agree.
But I have to know that the first one exists to watch this, and
Yeah, and I completely agree. I think this one's better than the first one, but since you have that first one, it makes it seem like this one is just like lazy writing and just too redundant.
and it's also though. But what's cool about it is, it's like a summertime movie,
Ah,
but
yes.
for Christmas.
That's fucking right,
Huh?
David.
Huh?
Hey,
Like,
David.
they give you that Christmas feel, like only a summertime movie can do.
Yes.
It's in the Christmas.
And fun fact, this is the only Home Alone movie where they use real snow.
Look at that. That's Christmas time, baby.
It's Christmas time.
It's Christmas time.
I thought-
Just like a summer movie.
I knew something felt a little bit more
Just
Christmas
like a summer
about
movie.
this one than the last one. Oh
All
God.
right, we talking awards?
Yeah, let's fucking dive deep. So, David, 3 wins, 3 nominations.
There we go.
Might as well read them all, So they won the Body Mass Index Film Music Award.
BMI.
Yeah. John Williams at the BMI Film and TV Awards. Good for them. They also
John
won.
Williams. Is that music?
Oh, David, that's score.
That's the score. That's the Jurassic Park guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
John Williams is like,
He's the man.
he's the head of
He
his
just
time.
fucking does it.
Yeah. Does it all.
Does it all.
They also won the Golden Screen Award at the Golden Screen Awards, Germany.
Look at that.
Look-
Oh my god, they fucking love Macaulay Culkin over there. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
He's blonde. He's got blue eyes. They are just fucking. They're like, this is what it should all be.
Look at those pure
This is
genetics.
what it should all be. What else we got?
Just little white boys with blue eyes. They won the People's Choice Award for favorite comedy motion picture at the People's Choice Awards. Look at that.
Look at that. What year?
1993.
93 People's Choice Awards.
Yeah, good for them. But they were nominated for the Young Artist Award for Best Youth Actress Leading Role in a Motion Picture Comedy. Senta Moses. Who the fuck is that?
Click on the name. I don't know. Because I don't know. Is it Pigeon Lady?
I would.
It's one of. It's a sister.
Yeah,
But that's insane. What
that's fucking.
is the? I mean, if you guys, you're gonna hear us break it down. I don't think I put down one thing she says in this movie.
I don't think so either. I
Yeah,
can't
you know
remember.
what? We give this to Kevin. Kevin's not here. That's
That's
that.
it. Yeah, they were
And
nominated
what was she nominated for?
for Best Youth Actress Leading Role in a Motion Picture Comedy.
There we go. What a year that was for young actresses.
They were also nominated for the Blimp
It
Award.
says 1994.
It does say 1994. But
Click on her again, or go to her IMDb. Go to all. She came out with something in the next year where she would have been a bigger part of. That's what that has
My
to be.
So-Called Life.
There we go. That's a TV show.
Why would they put that underneath?
Underneath things that she's acted in?
Well, no,
'Cause
underneath
she acts in all of them.
underneath Home Alone 2 awards.
I mean, they do this. They do this like once
Yeah.
every movie.
Yeah.
All right, Kids' Choice Award.
Oh, man, the Blimp Award. Nominated. Favorite movie actor, Macaulay Culkin.
There we go. Good
I'm
for
surprised he
Macaulay.
did not win that.
I mean,
Who the fuck knows who else was running that year, though. But this is like...
click the year. Next Kids' Choice Award. I bet you they got a whole thing. Here we go. We're scrolling through. Boys in the Hood won favorite movie at the Kids' Choice Award.
Oh, my God.
Fuck yeah, they did.
Ice Cube fucking won it, dude.
I mean, fuck yeah, he did. Fuck yeah, he did.
Oh, my
The
God.
Kids' Choice Award knows what the fuck is up.
Yes, they do. That is fucking gold. And then last but not least, they were nominated for the American Comedy Award for Funniest Supporting Actor in a Motion Picture, Joe Pesci.
Look at that, the Pesh, baby.
Yeah.
The second funniest bad guy in this movie.
Fun fact.
But how crazy is that? Funniest supporting actor in a motion picture, and it is the second funniest bad guy in this movie.
Wow.
Right? Like
Yeah.
Marv is far and away the funnier one of the two of them.
No, yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. It's insane.
He's just a bigger name.
Yeah, I mean,
There's
it's
like, fuck that other guy.
Just be accurate. American Comedy Awards.
But fun fact, Joe Pesci apparently got so well known for this role that whenever kids would see him like out in public, they would run up to him begging him to go rob their houses. So they would like give him their like home address, just waiting, especially like around Christmas time too. Just like, you know, not waiting for Santa, waiting for Joe
I
Pesci.
hope he acted on a couple of them.
Me too.
And it's not big news because
Yeah.
the kids aren't going to say shit.
Yeah.
They're like, Joe Pesci fucking killed my mom. They're like, I asked for it. This is what happens.
Got what I wanted.
Yeah. I genuinely hope that happened. All right, guys. We're going to dive into this fucking movie, so stick around and we'll be right back. And we're back.
We're back.
Hey, Derek Cheater. Fuck you.
Yeah.
So we open. It's a long intro with different...
There
Hey,
it
there's
is.
the bird.
Oh my God. Hold on, David, before we start, there's something I forgot to say. And now, since we're here, I want to ask you, how much do you think Macaulay Culkin made off this movie? What do you think his budget was? Out of that 18 million,
28 million.
28 million. Yeah.
2.8.
Close. A little bit higher.
3?
4.5.
That's a lot higher.
Yeah, that's like another 30%.
That's actually exactly just reverse. I said 45 and it was 28. I said 2.8 and it was 45 this time.
Ah!
Yeah, I mean, yeah, who the fuck else would you give the money to?
No, yeah.
Like, it's only him.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Joe Pesci, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, Joe Pesci would be like probably the other one.
Yeah, good on Macaulay.
Yeah.
Good on him. So it's the beautiful house in Chicago. Again, they're packing. They're going to Florida for Christmas. It's fucking chaos in that house.
Always is.
Fuller, if you'll remember from the first one, he's the bedwetter. He's drinking a Coke, and Uncle Frank grabs his Coke from him. He's like, we packed the rubber sheets already. You got to stop it. Because he's going to piss the bed tonight. And he's like, we don't have the rubber sheets because they're packed.
Yeah.
You're going to fuck up the sheets. Kevin's watching TV on his parents' bed, which I think is how we were introduced to Kevin in the first movie.
Yeah.
Just him watching TV on his parents' bed.
Yeah, I
So,
think so.
really just sticking to the classic here. He has a little tape recorder, and he's recording the TV and then playing it back. It's like probably a new thing that they bought. It was 92. It was probably like a cool, like, oh, shit, how's he doing that?
Oh, my
That's
God.
nuts.
Capturing voice.
And they tell him, his mom's like, oh, did you get grandma's gift? And he's like, yeah. She's like, what is it? She said, an inflatable clown. And she's like, oh, good. You could bring it. It could keep you company in the pool when we're down in Florida. And he's like, I don't want to go to fucking Florida. Florida sucks. And he's like, there's no Christmas trees. And the mom doesn't say, yes, there are. Would you just shut that down? Be like, of course there are.
Yeah.
Do you think they just don't get them there? Do you think they don't do Christmas? How do you think this happens? Instead, she's like, oh, we figure something out, and maybe like we'll decorate a palm tree or something. That'd be cool. And she's like, no, just say, yeah, no, there's Christmas trees.
Yeah.
We'll get a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
That's your big hang up? We'll get a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
We're going to Miami.
Like,
It's going to be sick.
they don't treat him like a kid. They treat him like an adult. Like when he says something, it's like, oh, we should actually debate about this rather than like, no, what
Rather-
I say
Rather than
goes.
just say, no, there's Christmas trees.
Yeah.
End of discussion.
But that's like everything. They bicker about it and like
Yeah, and they
treat him as if it was like an adult's
but then
opinion.
they way don't. They
Yeah, at
suck.
times, yeah,
These
yeah.
people suck.
Yeah. They're
Home Alone 2 Lost in New York is where you discover, oh, this family just sucks
Yeah.
across the board.
just bad parents.
Like they fucked up once in the first one. You're like, that's really shitty.
Yeah.
That must be hard.
they play like a pity party.
The stupid kid who lives across the street confused you guys, and you thought you had everybody. When you did the counts, it happens.
Yeah.
This one, you're like, oh, these are just bad people.
Just yeah.
They're like Joe Dirt's parents.
Oh.
You're like, we didn't leave them, or we didn't lose them. We just left them. All right.
There's a difference.
But crazy. Home Alone dad then walks in, and he unplugs the alarm clock for no reason. He asks for batteries for the video camera.
Maybe it
And-
was something that charges the batteries.
And mom said it's plugged in. But he then, like, it's on the side of it.
Yeah,
He
it's just-
sees it, and he just pulls everything out, unplugs the one on the side, and then plugs everything back in.
Yeah.
The alarm clock, they just needed to show that the alarm clock is not functional right now.
Just fucking lazy writing.
Give us have the fucking power go out again, like in the first one.
That would make
That'd
more
be
sense.
better. I'd
Yeah.
be like, whatever. It's the exact same thing, but it's not. Home Alone dad goes in and unplugs the alarm clock for zero reason.
Yeah.
He totally could have avoided that. And no one, did they set the alarm earlier in the day?
Yeah,
And they're
it
just
ma-
like, it's going to go off. We're not going to double check it before we go to bed.
Yeah.
Before a big flight. We're just going to say, fuck it.
Well, it said it would because when he plugged it back in, it went to noon.
It did like it's blinking.
Yeah,
it's
like it was
not-
stopped at noon.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, I was like, okay, well,
Someone's going to notice that?
either someone's going to notice that, or the time's not going to change, and the alarm's not going to go off because it's not set anymore.
Yeah, well, that's what happens. Yeah, that's that's the whole thing. So you nailed it. You picked up on what was going to happen, but it didn't need to be unplugged.
No, yeah.
What's Home Alone dad doing? He's causing issues,
Just lazy writing.
and he finds a way to blame Kevin for this too. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's a piece of shit.
Everyone's just blaming Kevin for everything.
They want Kevin to go put his tie on, and he says, "I can't. My tie's in the bathroom." And Uncle Frank told me that if I go in there while he's in the shower, if I go in there while he's showering and see him naked, that I'll grow up never feeling like a real man. It was great.
Which, yeah.
It's a great line. And
Yeah.
he's 10.
Even
He's
the
like,
father's
he's like,
laughing.
whatever that means. That laughs, and he's like, go be quick. Get it.
Wonder what that means.
Uncle Frank's singing the song in the shower. We know a guy who can really do the cool jerk. And catches Macaulay Culkin. He's recording it.
Yeah.
He's like, it's nuts. He's recording it, and he says, "Get out of here, you nosy little pervert, or I'll slap you silly." And
Jeez,
Macaulay gets the fuck out of there.
Weird line to say to your nephew.
I mean, he thinks his nephew's spying on him showering. So, I mean, I'm on Uncle Frank's side here, and really only here.
I was honestly thinking when he noticed Macaulay that he was going to be like, oh, you wanted to see what a real man is?
That'd have been great. He's like, close the door. Step on in here and close the door behind you, all right?
It's time.
This isn't for everybody. just for you, bud. All right? You're a man today.
Oh my
They
God.
go, it's a Christmas pageant, and all the McAllister kids are singing in a choir. Kevin's big solo's coming up, and Buzz is doing stuff that's not really funny.
This is the most forced thing I've ever seen
he's
in
holding,
film.
like, they all have candles, and he's, like, holding them behind his head. Like they're going into his ears. And the crowd is hysterically laughing.
It's as if
It is the funniest thing that group of people have ever witnessed.
ever witnessed. And to me, it's like the director was like, "What? Why aren't the extras laughing? I mean, this is fucking hilarious."
Yes, come on, work it up. And they're like, Like, seriously. Like, they are losing their fucking minds over
One
this.
person like passed out or something. I mean, it was
It's fucking nonsense
yeah.
what's going on.
What they're doing is fucking crazy.
Kevin then, like, realizes what's happening, and he turns around and hits Buzz.
And everyone fucking falls. Like it's as if it's a domino effect.
Buzz falls, and it knocks down the set, and the set falls.
Kills
Kills the old woman doing the piano.
Yeah.
It falls on her, and she, like, falls off the stage. It's
Back
not
on
good.
her head.
It
She's
is not good. She's
puddle
dead.
of blood. Yeah.
She's absolutely dead. And then Mom yells, "Kevin!" And the curtain's closed.
because she was so proud.
Yeah. She's like, "You did it." No.
That was so great.
No, because she's mad at Kevin. Because this kid can't catch a fucking break.
Come on.
Also, Buzz is like 17 years old. Buzz is so much bigger and older
Than
than Macaulay
everyone.
Culkin.
Everyone in that fucking
And
choir.
it's like Macaulay Culkin just held to a higher standard than everybody else.
Yeah. When he's 10 and his older brother's 17.
Yeah, so Buzz, I don't think he's 17
But
in the movie, but he
Probably
looks like a fucking grown
14,
man.
15 at least.
Yeah, he looks way too old to be singing in that choir.
Yeah.
Right? He's fucking one of those kids. But back at the house, Buzz gives a speech apologizing for embarrassing the family, and he apologizes to Kevin and blah, 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 and gives a whole, and the family eats it up. And Mom's like, "Thank you, Buzz. That was very nice."
He was lying through his
And
fucking
then
teeth.
He then, like, whispers to Kevin. He goes, "Beat that, you little trout sniffer."
And what does he do? He just tells the truth.
Yeah, Kevin's like, "I'm not sorry." And then shits on Florida. And I got a real bugaboo with that. This movie is very anti-Florida.
Yeah.
Every
Fuck you
chance
guys.
they get. He's like, going to fucking Florida. Florida sucks, all right? Nobody likes Florida. Why are we going to Florida? If I had my own money... he says this later. Shits on Florida, and he's like... and then, like, goes to walk out. And his dad is like, "Hey, Home Alone dad." He's like, "You... hold on. We're... Yeah. Home Alone dad says, "Hey, you walk out of this room, and you're spending the night up on the 3rd floor." And Fuller goes, "Yeah, with me." So that's his... Your brother
your
embarrassed you in
punishment.
front of everybody, and you reacted to it. And if you don't apologize to all of us, you're going to get pissed on by your cousin. That's insane. That's the punishment. You're going to go get pissed on by your cousin.
Because you got to sleep in his bed.
Yeah, that is bananas.
And we all know he's going to piss his bed.
Yeah, and they're all like,
Even his little brother's like, yeah.
he's going to piss all over you. Here we go. Uncle Frank tells Kevin, he's like, "You better not ruin your trip, all right? Your dad paid good money for this. You better not ruin this trip for me."
Yes.
Your dad paid good money for it. And he's like, "Man, I'd really hate to ruin your free ride, Uncle Frank."
You
Like,
fucking cheap steak.
skate.
Skate.
Because a cheap steak is like a... It's like a...
Cheap steak.
Inexpensive steak.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cheap skate is a person.
Ah.
Who's really pinching those pennies.
Ah.
Kevin, fucking psycho mom comes up to the 3rd floor. Kevin's up there, and he's like, I fucking... Oh, no, she just comes up to me and is like, "Last year you had a little incident that was started by you acting like this." And you're like, "Excuse me, ma'am? Excuse me?
mean-
That is
you
how...
mean-
We had a little incident last year that started because you were acting like this."
And I was fucking waiting for someone to bring it up. And when she did, I was like, bitch, are you crazy?
Immediately... Here's the thing. Kevin has a free ride.
Yeah.
They left the house, drove to the airport, got on an airplane, and then realized they didn't have him.
Yeah.
If he doesn't want to sing in the choir, he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
If Buzz fucks with him up on stage and he hits Buzz, it is Buzz's fault.
Yeah.
Kevin, you guys should no longer be responsible for Kevin.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin should live with another family, and they should be taking care of him.
But,
Instead, everything's on him.
yeah.
It is his fault that happened.
It's crazy.
It is fucking insane. And she's like, "And you can stay up here until you're ready to come downstairs and apologize to everybody." And he's like, "I'm not gonna do that." He's like, "This is fucking crazy, Bob. Like it is insane. You just came up here, you put this on me. All of this is just on me. You guys are fucking nuts." He's like, "You guys are not 10, and I realize that." He didn't say most of that, but
It's like the American dream. Everything's just working against you, and you still find a way to succeed.
look at that. Look at that. Kevin wishes, he's like, "If I had my own money, I'd go on my own vacation, and I'd leave all of you behind." And then Mom says, "You got your wish last year. Maybe you'll get it again this year because she's the worst fucking person on the planet. You got your wish last year. Maybe you'll get it again this year. The level of just sick manipulation in this
Petty.
movie on this, she's a fucking child.
Yeah.
It is insane, you guys. I did not remember it being this crazy. It is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
This poor kid. That is all I think for most of this movie.
You know, since we're harping about the mom so much, fun fact, she actually thought that her character was not, like, nice enough to him and also
Spot on.
sad enough throughout the film about him and what happens
Spot on.
to where she demanded to production that they filmed more scenes to show that she was more sad.
Yeah. To show that she's not the biggest monster in the world.
Yes.
Yeah. Her,
Because she's like, this writing is insane.
they do little things to be like, oh, she cares about him.
Yeah,
but
but
it's
even then,
not.
yeah.
Her character is not even a little bit likable
yeah.
for 99% of this movie.
I'm sure she caught that drift, too. I'm sure that's why she did that.
She absolutely did.
Yeah, she's like,
That's
this
why
is coming off
She's like, this is
bad.
crazy.
I'm going to look like the worst
This is
mother
crazy.
in history.
I left my son at home when we left for Christmas. And then the next movie, I just blame him for it the entire time. This is nuts, guys. Like,
Yeah.
what? Just looking around, and he blames himself too. That's the worst part.
Oh, yeah, he
All the
takes it
time,
serious,
He's like,
yeah.
I'm just a piece of shit. And you're like, no, buddy, no, it is not your fault. All right.
yeah, all the Germans
The adults,
are so
the
upset.
adults should have been taking care of you.
Yeah.
So it's nighttime, and the wind blows a newspaper onto the McAllister's front door, and the front page says, "Wet bandits break out during prison riot." Here we go.
The wettest of bandits.
There we go. They're fucking out. Airport shuttles pull up to the house and ring the doorbell. And Home Alone dad and mom, they react to the doorbell, and they hop out of bed.
We did it again!
What could have been better there? And what do you think my plan was with that line? Because how do they deliver it?
Because they sit up and they look at each other and then they look back at the camera and they...
But how many people say the line?
Both of them.
So what do you think I had planned? for
Oh,
this
my bad. For
when this
both
line
the...
came, and instead you just jumped in and said it. Yeah, the plan was for me and Braden to both do it. Instead, Braden's like, I don't think David's going to deliver it. I don't think he's going to deliver it. I got to jump in. All right, so yeah, that's what happens. They yell that.
My bad.
Everyone's running around because they're supposed to be awake and ready when the shuttle gets there. Instead, they're waking up to the shuttle getting there. Mom's passing out tickets. They're all in the fucking shuttles. Mom's passing out the tickets, and she thinks they forgot Kevin, but Kevin is an adult, and apparently he's 10, but
Yeah.
he's the most responsible, and he's just sitting up front.
Just ready
And
to go.
And he's like, I made sure I was down here in case you guys tried to ditch me again.
Make sure my bags were packed last night, ready to go.
Yeah, like he's the most responsible person in this family, and it's not close. Kevin, they're getting out at the airport. Kevin has his dad's bag because he wants batteries for the voice recorder, and they're running through the airport, and they just leave him. It's insane. It's insane running through the airport that they did not make sure they had him while they were running. And like Kevin like looks up because he's down. He's fucking a kid, so he's focused on the batteries, and he does that. And then he looks up and he sees a guy with the same jacket as his dad, and he just starts running. He's like, "Dad, wait up, Dad!" And
Yeah,
he's running
just-
after him.
And they just go fucking part different ways.
Yeah, the family like just makes it to the gate again, and then mom's like, all right, hold on. Like, she's like letting all the kids go through first, and they're like, ma'am, you need to get on this plane. She's like, yeah, I just want to make sure I have everyone. Like, I will get on with them, but I want to make sure I have all the kids. They go, ma'am, we will make sure everyone's here. Get on the plane.
Oh, okay.
And then she just does. Why did they? It didn't matter what order she went.
Yeah.
She was getting on with them.
2 second, yeah.
Or she would have noticed, Kevin is not in this group. I can't get on that plane.
And she was still
I can't
the
get on
last
that
to
plane.
get on.
My child's in this airport somewhere. I need to go get him. Instead, they're like, ma'am, get on the plane. All right? We will see all of the people. All right? You get on the plane. That is how this works, ma'am. And she just gets on. Kevin then runs And he's following that guy, and that guy gets on, and Kevin runs into the lady collecting tickets.
Everyone's a goof in this fucking movie.
And, like, they mix all the tickets up, and then a guy comes out, and he's like, we gotta start the plane! We gotta go! He runs off the tarmac, and he's like, we gotta get this plane up in the air! And she's like, his kid says he's on the plane. And he's like, well, where's his boarding pass? And she's like, they're all here. All the boarding passes are here. It's in this pile somewhere. And then so Kevin's like, I don't know, my boarding pass is somewhere in there. And the guy's like, okay. And then he's also like, hey, cool if I bring this. And he shows me as a box cutter. And he's like, cool if I bring this on the plane. And they're like, yeah, of course, man.
Yeah, why not?
You wouldn't be flying if you didn't have a box cutter. You
gotta have that.
1992. We're American Airlines. Nothing bad ever happens on any of our flights. Bring it on. We got 9 years to live it the fuck up. Bring that box cutter on that plane. And that's what he does. That's what he does. He's like, yeah. He goes in, he's flashing it to everyone. He's like, we're good. He sees a guy. So, like, they go, and he sees the back of the guy he thought was his dad, and he tells the lady. So the guy's like, make sure he finds his family. And he points to that guy, and he's like, that's my dad. And she's like, great. Go find an empty seat. And she says, and while you're at it, don't hijack the plane and crash it into the World Trade Center or the Pentagon. Because people are going to start doing that on American Airlines flights, and we don't want to start that now, right?
Yeah.
Let's wait a little bit. Kevin then sits down, and he realizes there's like 20 people in my family that are supposed to be on this flight. We should be dominating this flight.
Yeah, I don't see
single, any of them.
Yeah.
And he just shrugs it off.
He literally goes, huh?
Kind of looks around, like, guess it's a big plane.
Put my headphones on.
Not yet.
Oh.
He asks the guy sitting next to him if he's ever been to Florida. And that guy replies in French and talks for way too long in French. And Kevin just stares at him and then puts his headphones on and starts listening to Tom Petty's It's Christmas all over again.
Yeah.
And he has his headphones on while the flight attendant says, welcome you on the nonstop flight, or welcome on the American Airlines flight nonstop service to New York City. And you're like, that's not where you want to be going, Kevin.
And he doesn't hear it.
Yeah. Mom has that feeling again. And Home Alone dad says, you got nothing to worry about.
Nothing.
And the plane takes off.
We got everyone.
So Kevin's plane lands. He walks off and starts calling out for his mom and dad with nobody reacting to it. And no one in the airport's like, oh, well, that's not good. He just comes off. He's like, Mom, Dad.
There's a few times where shit like this happens where it's like no one's reacting.
No, but there's people just like walking past him. Employees, the flight attendant who brought him on and was like, go find a seat, make sure you see your family, sees him alone again in a new city. And she's not like, oh, this is bad.
Yeah.
Hey, where's your dad that you saw
Shit.
there? And he's like, I don't know. And she's like, I think I fucked up. Should have put eyes on them. Nobody cares. The family is picking up Kevin's bag at baggage claim, and they're all in a line and say, this is Kevin's. You pass it down to Kev? Everyone goes,
Pass it down to Kev.
and it's pass it down to Kevin, pass it down to Kevin, pass it down to Kevin. Gets to Fuller, and he goes, here you go, Kevin. And Kevin's not there, and he looks up and sees some old people.
Kevin's not here.
And Kevin's not here. Kevin's not here. Kevin's not here. They pass it down, and as it gets to adults, it's at least more. It gets to the aunt who gets it and then gives it to Mom and says, Kevin's not here? And Mom goes, Kevin's not here, and goes to hand it to Dad, and then goes, Dad does not accept the bag. He just looks at her. They go, Kevin! Kevin! Fucking nuts. How they should not be allowed to have kids.
Yeah, you know, when you're at this many too, it's not an excuse. Like the writers thought, like, oh, it'll be an excuse.
It's so chaotic.
There's
They got
6
so
of
many
them or
people. He was
something.
getting the battery. And like, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
All right, twice?
Come on.
Once? Oh, that's awful. But, you know, that does happen.
But that's
Kids get forgotten sometimes.
Yeah.
That's a thing. Twice is bananas.
And if you're gonna do it twice, you gotta get clever with the writing, not
He's looking
lazy.
for the batteries, and Dad sprinted through the air. They're running late for a plane again.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Come on.
It's the exact same movie, but New York. But this time, he's in New York. So Kevin looks out the window, and he's like, "This isn't Miami." and then runs over to an American Airlines employee named Pam Block. And he's like, hey, it's an emergency. And she's like, oh. All right. And she's like on the phone. She hangs up and she calls him sir. She's like, how can I help you, sir?
It makes sense.
Like, just like that. Like, a kid comes up and says, it's an emergency. And she's like, how can I help you, sir?
Yeah.
Like, monotone, like she's kind of annoyed. She doesn't think it's an emergency.
Just weird writing.
He then says, what city is that? She says, New York, sir. And he says, yikes, I did it again. And she says, is something wrong? And then he says, I'll be fine.
After like a long pause.
I'll be fine. And then he goes over and just plops down in a chair. Not looking happy, not looking like this is what's supposed to happen. And Pam Block, that this is good enough for her.
Yeah,
So
she
yeah,
accepts
he said
it.
it'll be fine.
Yeah.
I told him he's in New York. There's obviously something.
I
of an
addressed him
issue-
as sir.
There's something of an issue with it being New York, but you know, it doesn't really matter.
'Cause it's Macaulay Culkin.
And
Look
he
at him.
sits there and he goes, "My family's in Florida and I'm in New York." And then he like looks up and smiles and he goes, "My family's in Florida and I'm in New York." He's pumped now. There's a song playing. I don't give a fuck about that song.
Yeah, fuck that song.
Takes a taxi over the Brooklyn Bridge. He goes sightseeing, gets fireworks immediately.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if New York's known for him, but he immediately goes and buys
I
fireworks.
wouldn't think so. You know,
I also
city living.
I can't imagine there's no age limit because it's New York.
That's a good
Like,
point.
do you have to be 18 to buy fireworks?
I mean, I think so.
Yeah, so like they're just
So many.
hey, it's New York. Come
Ah.
on. And it wasn't like from a street vendor. He went in a store. It was a business.
Yeah,
so-
it's weird vibes right off the rip. You know, everyone's a goof.
Yeah, he's going sightseeing. He goes to the World Trade Center, and he just kind of stands in front of it and looks and goes, "Ah, man, you won't be around much longer if American Airlines has anything to say about it. They are gunning for you in a big way."
They just let anyone on the plane with
He
a
also-
box cutter.
No, they were like, "Yeah, cut some boxes up, baby. Do your thing." He gets on top of the World Trade Center, and it is only him up there.
Yeah.
Which I can't imagine. So I never had the privilege, you know, of going prior to its demise. But I have to imagine it was a pretty big tourist destination.
Oh yeah.
Like I
I'm
got to
sure.
imagine midday around Christmas time, he's not alone up there.
Yeah.
But he was. So good on him. Parents meet with airport security and they try to make light of the situation and they make jokes like, yeah, it's the second year in a row we've done this, but you know, we've never forgotten a bag, huh? They knock on wood. Like all that.
And
Secur-
the cop-
security guard does not find it funny,
Yeah.
even a little.
Yeah.
Good for him.
He's super.
This is not funny.
suspicious.
This is not funny at all. This is the second year in a row you've lost your kid, people. And you made a bag. You just made a joke about not losing a bag. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I'm calling DCF right now.
And you could tell because after they like have that awkward laugh, they kind of start to realize like, oh yeah, he's suspicious. If something actually happens to my child, we are totally
Well,
being framed for it.
Not suspicious. Just they're in the wrong.
Yeah, no, totally.
They've lost their kid.
Yeah.
There's no framing. There's no suspicious if something happened. He's like, folks, you don't know where your child is. And you just made a joke to me about your bag. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Get your shit together. 2 years in a row? The fuck? You just told me this is the second time this has happened? You are horrible people.
They don't know Macaulay Culkin like they do.
I disagree. I think he's smarter than them. Kevin's walking through a fish market, and we see the wet bandits at that fish market. They're in the back of a truck.
wettest.
And that's going to be your thing?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Joe Pesci says they're in the back of one of the trucks. Like they snuck over there on the truck. Joe Pesci's like, all right, we got to do one more score. We can't do a bank or jewelry store or anything like that. We just got to get some quick cash so we can get some fake passports. Get the fuck out of this. Go to some foreign country.
Oh, yeah.
And Marv goes, yeah, like Arizona.
Because who doesn't love Arizona?
Because Marv's a fucking moron.
Yeah.
Marv, they're walking through, like, coming out of the subway, and Marv is covering his hand with tape. And then they walk by Salvation Army Santa with the little bell and the thing, and he just grabs a bunch of change out of it with the tape hand. And he's like, "Hey, we got a new thing. We're the Sticky Bandits.
We're the stickiest.
We're not the Wet Bandits anymore. We're the Sticky Bandits."
Yeah.
This is great. Kevin walks through Central Park, and he's scared of a homeless woman who's feeding and covered with pigeons. Like, she's feeding them, but they're also all over. She's scary. Her life looks just sad. It's a nightmare what she's got. She's covered in pigeon shit, too. And just not giving a fuck about it.
Yeah.
Nonsense life.
Hygiene must be terrible.
Nonsense life this woman has. And he screams and runs, and she's used to it.
So this is a daily occurrence.
She shrugs it off. It means nothing to her. Kevin and the Sticky Bandits, they walk past each other on the street and, like, bump each other. And Joe Pesci thinks he saw something, but it's New York, big crowd. And he's like, huh. And Marv's like, what? He's like, I thought I saw something. Then they keep walking. Marv's hand gets stuck to a lady's purse, and then he tries to seduce her speaking in French, and she slaps him.
It's a good slap.
It was solid. Good form?
Pretty good form.
Good form. All right. And, guys, for uploading purposes, we're going to take a quick break because that's the 30-minute mark. But stick around because we got plenty more Home Alone 2 Lost in New York coming your way.
That's right.
And we're back.
We're back.
Hey, Derek Cheater. Fuck you. So, the Plaza Hotel, New York's most exciting hotel experience.
Truly is.
It's where Kevin's staying. And he bumps into Donald Trump in the lobby. Or, not even the lobby, because he asks how to get to the lobby.
Yeah.
So I don't know where in the building this was, but they bump into each other, and he says, "Excuse me, how do you get to the lobby?" Donald Trump says, "Straight ahead to the left." Thank you. And then he walks. And I don't know why they had Trump do this.
He is probably just around there like, oh my God.
No, not him in the movie. Like,
Oh.
yeah, whatever. It was 92. Like, it was a great get at that time. He does a double take and then, like, watches Kevin as he leaves.
Oh, yeah.
Why? Why make it a little creepy?
Why make it where it's like, oh, the kid seems familiar? Like, was there anything from the first movie? Was he on the news because he was missing or something?
No, because he wasn't missing. The parents just fucking
knew where he was.
They just got back home and he was there.
I'm just wondering, like, why would he?
Yeah,
because I'm sure the director was like, yeah, give it a double take and like look at him as he's walking away.
But why?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Like, what is that? That added nothing to the movie. You're just like, why do you double take?
Maybe
fuck was that all about?
Maybe it wasn't for him looking at Macaulay. Maybe it was for us noticing that it was Donald Trump. Like, oh, if you didn't notice off the fucking one word, when he looked back, you'd definitely see his face.
That's wild if that's what they did. That's wild. They're like, we need people to know.
We gotta soak up.
This is Donald Trump. This is Donald Trump.
Yeah.
All right.
We got him.
It's got to be known.
We got him for 2 lines. Let's soak it up.
Straight ahead to the left. Is that 2 lines or is that 1?
Yeah. I mean, I guess
straight
it's the
ahead
way
and to the left. It's 1 sentence.
Yeah. It's yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. 1 line, 1 look.
Yeah.
1 line, 1 look.
That's where the other
money well spent.
The other fucking 10 million went.
I hope they paid him just a disgusting amount for that. And that's why they were like, well, we got to get our money's worth. They were like, Donald, do a double take and stare at him as he walks away.
Did you know how many times I've seen on Instagram that shot alone where people are like, did you ever see that Donald Trump was in Home Alone 2? And I'm like, I swear to God, I've seen it like 30 fucking times on Instagram. Where I'm like, why? I don't know. I'm like, why is that? It's like on all the movie pages we follow. I'm like, why? Why is it that big of a deal that his cameo is brought up today?
Yeah.
Did you know?
Did you know? Talk about him at WrestleMania.
Bro, so much better.
Bobby Lashley. Oh my God. So the whole Vince McMahon thing, all the sexual assault, like a bunch of stuff got uncovered, and there was donations to the Trump Foundation, which could be constituted as tax evasion.
Oh, wow.
But Donald Trump had a thing written into the contract for the WrestleMania match, which I love. And good on him for having it in there. Because it was... They each had it was Game of Thrones style. It was him versus Vince McMahon, but they weren't wrestling. They each had a champion.
That's nice.
Donald Trump picked Bobby Lashley.
Nice.
Great pick.
Yeah.
Great. He's Google Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong. Vince McMahon picked Umaga. Also great pick. Umaga's dead now, though. But Donald Trump and the loser got their head shaved.
Oh, yeah.
On the thing. And obviously, Vince McMahon is losing.
Yeah. There's no.
Vince McMahon isn't like, hey, Donald Trump, I got this great idea. You're going to come make me a ton of money. I'll pay you. You're going to make my company a ton of money, and I'm going to shave your head. No way that's happening. So Donald Trump had it written in the contract, though, that under no circumstances would his head be shaved, even if Bobby Lashley were to have a heart attack and die in the middle of the match. There's no circumstances where they're shaving his head. I love it, because he thought ahead of...
Worst case.
He's like, well, what if he dies?
Yeah.
It was technically I lose in that scenario. Like, then what the fuck do we do? So he made sure it was the contract. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that, and I hope they do more I hope like Vince McMahon has shit go to trial with all of this, and more weird shit over the years like that comes out. I hope there's not more sexual misconduct and stuff like that. That's awful.
Yeah.
But I hope just more weird contractual shit like that starts coming out.
Yeah.
Because it's bananas that was... A lawyer wrote that down. And I'm like, there we go.
I
That's what we're
I
signing.
love hearing shit like that, because it just shows how, well, a lot of times, whether you're an actor or you're a wrestler, like, you're doing it because you're trying to protect certain aspects of your career. Like, I remember I heard when The Rock was doing, like, one of the fucking Fast movies with Jason Statham, he was like, all right, well, when we fight, I can't lose a fight. Like, that's in the contract. Like, when I get beat like a little bit, but not too bad. I can't get beat up too much.
Yeah, I mean...
Because then it's going to, like, hurt the impression of my character onto the audience that, like, I'm weaker than what I'm really supposed to be. Like, there's certain, like... And it kind of makes sense to a degree, but I just think it's funny when you hear it, like, in a contract in a certain way. It's just kind of funny.
But, of course, if you're The Rock... I just Googled it. Jason Statham is 5'10" tall, 170 pounds. The Rock is 6'5", 260 pounds.
Oh, I'd be pissed too.
Like the Rock's like, I can't be on screen getting my ass kicked by someone that I'm 90 pounds heavier than.
Oh, totally.
And 7 inches taller than.
Yeah.
He's like, they just can't. I lose credibility for the next movie. They're like, well, we watched The Rock get his ass kicked by that little guy.
Yeah, dude, you know what's great about that too? Not to go on into it a little bit, but
we're into it.
Yeah,
we're in the weeds.
But him and Vin Diesel, they got beef. So
because Vin Diesel fucked him up in Fast 5.
Yeah,
and then like took mercy on him and like hit the ground next to him, and he's like, he could have killed me if he wanted to.
Well, I think it was actually more so the whole contract I was talking about earlier was with him and Vin Diesel. Like, he can't lose to Vin Diesel. But Vin Diesel even came out, made a video being like, come on, Rock, come back to the family. I sort of like put it on Instagram, like made it a post. Like, what are you doing, man? This is the last ride. Like, you're going to let all the fans down, man. Like,
love it.
Like, called him out in such a way, like, I know your family, like, made it very personal. Like, I know your family. I know your kids want you to do this. Like, and The Rock just did not respond. It was like, fuck you, dude.
That is great.
The Rock is so, like, he is alpha male, top G.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. What he says goes.
1,000%.
Yeah.
You know what they're talking about doing in wrestling this year? Saw a YouTube video about it the other day.
Please tell me you're bringing The Rock back.
The plan right now, if he's willing to do it, which I imagine is the plan every year, if The Rock's willing to do it. That's a big if.
That's big.
But enough to where it's being reported. He's going to win the Royal Rumble and then wrestle at WrestleMania.
Oh, my God.
I'm all in for that.
I would fucking
I'm
love
all the fucking way in for that.
It's hard for me to believe, though, because
he's The Rock.
Well, he's The Rock, but he has X amount of many years left to be able to do crazy action films. And if he gets injured by this, he's going to lose out on so much money on the end of his career.
The last time he wrestled, he like tore his pec against John Cena. And then he was supposed to be filming Hercules, and that got delayed 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Cost the studio millions of dollars.
Yeah, millions of dollars.
For delaying a production of a major movie for 6 weeks.
And now that...
So So it's a big if.
Yeah, and then now with the success of Black Adam and the fact that DC.
Whoa. Colored Adam.
That's right. The fact that there was such success with Colored Adam and bringing back Superman and hyping up.
Jesus Christ, dude, you can't call them that. It's Black Adam. That's the name of the movie. That's not colored? What is this, the 40s, you psycho? Oh, my God.
I don't know what got into me, David. But the whole hype and dynamic between them now, it's like he's not going to – I don't know if he's going to risk this one of the biggest action movies of all time.
Yeah. He shouldn't.
He shouldn't.
But the wrestling fan in me is like, let's fucking
Please.
do it, Rock.
Yes,
let's
please.
fucking do it.
Just do it. One last ride.
Yeah.
Come on.
His cousin is the champion right now.
Is he really?
They're like, yeah. They're like, we make that the main event? The family?
Oh.
The family going at it?
Oh, my God.
It's too great not to do it, WWE.
Just
Rock.
pay
Rock,
everything.
I know you watch every week. Just do it.
fucking
Come
do
on
it.
back.
Come on.
Come back home. Come home, Rock.
Come on.
All right.
Back to the movie.
Back to the movie. Kevin uses a voice recorder, and he says, I want to book a room, big bed, one of those fridges with the locks, credit card, you got it. And then
Boom.
calls the fucking main number to book a room at the hotel that he's in and like holds his thumb down on the tape so it goes slow. And it's like, this is Mr. McAllister. I want a room. Sounds like Rusty Nails.
Yeah.
He's like, I want a room with a big bed. And
Woman's
one of
like,
those,
"Oh, coming
one of
right
those
up."
fridges you got to open with a key. Credit card? You got it. And that is the entire call.
And
the lady on the other end's like, all right, we got it.
Yeah.
Mr. McAllister. Credit card, you got it. Big bed, fridge with a key. Done. You're in.
Yeah.
You're into the most exciting hotel experience in New York City.
Boom.
Kevin then goes up to...
Oh, I forgot to say, the little fun fact as well with Donald Trump before we get too lost is he apparently owned at that time that hotel, which is like another reason why he was probably...
There we go. So he's like, yeah, shoot my hotel.
Yeah.
I'll be in it.
Let me get a cameo.
Yeah. Good. He goes up to the thing. There's this old woman who's kind of just bitchy immediately.
Yeah.
He's like, got a reservation for McAllister? And she's like, you have a reservation? He's like, ma'am, I'm 10 years old. My feet are barely touching the ground right now for me to get above this counter. He's like, do you think I booked a reservation on my own? My dad booked it. He's at a meeting. I hate meetings. Plus, I'm not allowed in, so I have to sit in the lobby. And he told me that I could just go check into the hotel, so I don't get into mischief. Ma'am, sometimes I get into mischief. And she looks at him and he goes, we all do! He's adorable.
Yeah.
Airport security, they can't find Kevin. Home Alone dad's like, I got a picture of him in my wallet. And he's like, Kevin had my bag. My wallet's in my bag. Kevin has my wallet. And the guy goes...
Which took an odd amount of time for him to connect that dot.
I mean, you weren't thinking wallet.
But like bag? Like your bags?
I mean, he's not...
For like 10 hours or something?
Child's missing. He assumed his kid just had it.
I guess.
He didn't, yeah. He's not as selfish as you.
Wow.
You're like, I've been thinking about my money, bro. That little bitch is fucking with my money.
That money would have led me straight
You
to
gonna
him.
come in here and fuck with my money? Man, fuck you. I'll fuck that kid up. Next time I see him, I'm gonna fuck him up.
Said it well, David.
Yeah, that was your words.
Thank you.
Your words. And airport security guy's like, great, if you use your credit card, we'll be able to call the credit card company. We'll find the location. Bing, bang, boom. We found him. And Mom's like, no, Kevin doesn't know how to use a credit card. And then we leave.
Literally
them.
as he's using the credit card.
Yeah, so Rob Schneider is counting his tips in the lobby of the thing. He's a bellhop at this hotel. This is our first time seeing him. He's counting his tip. And the manager goes, Rob Schneider, don't count your tips in public. He goes, yes, sir. And he puts him away. And then his boss, he's like, why don't you take that boy up to his room, find out everything you can about him. His likes, his dislikes, his fears, what makes him happy, what makes him sad, who he likes. Does he have a crush on anyone? Because I just think he and I would be the perfect couple, Rob Schneider. Like, you need to talk to him for me because I'm too nervous to do it myself. So just go, you talk to him and then come back to me and let me know, like, do I have a shot? And
Rob was like, yeah,
Rob Schneider's
absolutely.
like, yeah, of course, man. Absolutely.
Anything for you.
The lady at the counter Tells Kevin, he's like, your dad has to sign a few things when he gets here. So tell him to come to the front desk. And he's like, got it, man. They're up on the floor. Rob Schneider tells him that Herbert Hoover stayed on this floor. And he says, the guy who invented the vacuum? And he says, no, the president.
Who
And
the
here's
fuck
the
is
thing.
that?
Here's the thing. Herbert Hoover was a president. In 7th or 8th grade, everyone picked a president and did a full biography report on them. I did Herbert Hoover.
Oh.
I could not tell you anything about Herbert Hoover. That is how insignificant that man is.
Jesus.
I did his full biography. I couldn't tell you what years he was president.
Wow.
Yeah, I think 1920s.
Was he elected in, or
But
was
I'm
just
not
a president
positive.
died and he was just vice?
I don't have the answer to that either.
Huh.
I think elected,
But who knows?
but who knows? Yeah. Maybe he beat Calvin Coolidge. Maybe he was around the Coolidge administration.
Maybe.
You know what? We're
diving deep.
Let's just fucking let's
Let's figure out.
Herbert Hoover.
There's been enough presidents anyway. Who needs to know?
Yeah.
Fuck
He was
history.
the 31st U.S. president. He was born 1874, died 1964, so 90 years.
90
What is
years
Herbert
strong.
Hoover best known for? For being president from 1929 to 1933, one term.
Tell me one
He had achieved
fun.
international success as a mining engineer and worldwide gratitude as the great humanitarian who fed war-torn Europe during and after World War I. He was the president. All I'm hearing here is Herbert Hoover is responsible for the Great Depression.
Oh.
That is what my takeaway is there. He was president 1929-33. World War I ended
World War One.
1916 it ended?
Yeah, I was gonna say
Something
17.
like that. Around that time. Fed war-torn Europe through all that time. During the greatest economic crisis in the history of this country. He's the great humanitarian.
So he just took
He
our extra
neglected
resources.
his country to take care of war-torn Europe. Shame on Herbert Hoover. Shame on the Hoover family. And fuck the Hoover Dam.
Yeah, just fuck him.
Fuck the Hoover Dam.
God, dude. Can't believe a dam is named Hoover.
God. His fucking great... Margaret Hoover, what's she up to? Is she alive? Oh, Margaret Hoover's up.
She's hot.
Kind of.
God damn it.
Margaret alive. It's his great
I
grandchild.
would.
Great grandchild. Herbert Hoover, you got a hot great grandchild.
Good genetics.
And for you guys who are like, David, that's crazy that she was born 18 years before I was, all right? So I'm allowed to say Herbert Hoover's got a hot great grandchild.
I feel like she'd look sexy making a nice turkey dinner,
Yeah?
right?
No.
With the apron on and
You want,
cooking mittens.
she'd look sexy if we put a bunch of big bulky clothes on her. That's what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah.
Apron and cooking mittens. Yeah, she'd look real sexy if we just really just put a lot of layers on her, you know?
You know.
Maybe put a nice, maybe it's cold in there. Maybe she puts on a nice coat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
Polka
sexy.
dotted coat.
So yeah, fucking Herbert Hoover. That's what a guy.
Fuck that dude.
Rob Schneider. So Kevin booked a suite. It's a huge fucking room.
Yeah.
He's looking
It's
through
like,
everything,
most luxurious.
Yeah.
Look at the space.
commenting on everything. Then he catches Rob Schneider going through his bag. He's like, "Hey,"
The fuck?
and Rob Schneider's like, "Oh,
Would
did you
you-
want the key in the bag, or do you want to hold on?" He's like, "No, I'll hold on to it." And he takes it and grabs his bag. So that interaction just happened. Kevin makes no bones about he knows Rob Schneider was going through his bag.
Yeah.
Rob Schneider then still has the balls to ask for a fucking tip.
He doesn't ask. He's just like
He just goes, "All right, well," and then starts doing the money, the Johnny Manziel thing. And he's holding that, and Kevin's like, "Oh, yeah," and gives him a piece of gum and says, "There's plenty more where that came from."
That's an amazing answer.
Then Rob Schneider leaves. But the balls.
Oh yeah.
I caught you going through my bag. I'm a child.
Yeah.
And then you're going to ask me for money.
Crazy.
Bananas the way he acted there. Jingle Bell Rock's playing. I don't feel the need to sing this one. You guys know it. Boom, boom, boom. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bell, boom, jingle bell, brr. Snowing and glowing. Boop, boop, boop. Now the boop, boop has begun.
Wow.
Jingle Bell Rock.
Yeah. Bring it back.
And he's walking into indoor pool, and he goes to jump, and then he stops. See, it's all old people. And he goes, would it bother anyone if I worked on my cannonball? And everyone's like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
So he does a cannonball, and his bathing suit falls off, and he goes, yikes, and pulls it. He's now back in the room, and he has a bunch of movies on top of the TV. The Ventilator, Flybait, Muttville Massacre, and Angels with Even Filthier Souls. I got to imagine that's the one they're watching.
I don't think any of those are real movies.
I don't think so either. And it's the guy from the old one. I'm gonna give you to the count of 3 to get you that guy.
Yeah.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
animals.
That guy in the first one. And he's watching it. There's a guy in there making a sundae for Kevin, and he says, 2 scoops, sir? And Kevin says, 2? Make it 3.
Yeah.
I'm not driving. It was great.
Don't want
So
a sugar crash,
guy gives him a 3rd one. In the movie, Johnny's bitch has been fucking around. She's even banging Little Mo with the gimpy leg.
Oh, my God.
He's got a gimpy leg, and this slut is giving it up to him.
It's crazy. Everyone in town.
This slut is giving that switch up to Little Mo with the gimpy leg.
Oh, my
Huh?
God. Not
Huh?
the switch.
Giving that switch up.
Oh, my God.
Man, she's been giving up her switch to everybody. And Kevin's like, listen, my wick dry on this one. You gotta believe me.
You gotta believe me.
And she's like, I would never fuck. The guy's a fucking loser. The guy's got a gimpy leg. You think I'm fucking a dumb little bitch cripple? Is that what you think of me, Johnny? You think I'm fucking that loser with the gimp leg? Go fuck yourself. And then he says, get down on your knees and tell me you love me. You're like, oh my God.
Whoa.
And she gets down on her knees and she's like, I'm over the moon for you, Johnny. If my love was an ocean, we'd need 2 planes to get across it.
2.
And he goes, yeah, maybe I'm something, but I believe you. But my Tommy gun don't. Pulls out the Tommy gun and goes, I'm going to give you to the count of 3 to get you lying, lousy, no good, bumping carcass out that door. 1. And she's like, oh, and like stands up and just like, oh, like
Startled.
doesn't try to move.
Yeah.
Just 2. And then he starts opening fire, shooting like crazy.
Yeah.
And he says 3. Ah! He's screaming. Ah!
He's fucking eating it up.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. And then
Just hit the tagline perfectly.
and a Happy New Year. Boom.
Boop. Boop.
So I mean, she's dead. That's all that meant.
She got lit up.
The fucking manager is up in the room because he wants to fuck Macaulay Culkin. There's
It's
there's
so
no other
weird.
way. He's like, hey, you up, baby? It's just me. He's like, oh, don't get up.
I didn't know this till afterwards.
Don't get up. I'm just gonna crawl in the bed. Don't you even worry about it.
This is the original actor to Pennywise. So this is just some creepy fucking
There we go.
just ready to steal Macaulay Culkin's soul.
I mean, he wants to fuck him.
Yeah.
All right. He's a little.
Bit of both.
He's a little darker than Pennywise.
Yeah.
Pennywise just wanted to kill him.
Yeah, eat him and yeah.
Yeah. He needs to nourish himself. This guy wants to fuck the child and make the kid live the rest of his life, knowing that this man fucked him.
That's a good point.
It's you. I mean, dude.
They did say though,
Dude. You can relate.
best hotel
like-
experience in New York.
Dude,
am I
you-
right?
I mean, solid.
Yeah.
Solid. Yeah, and he's sneaking around the room. He's in there. He's like, housekeeping. And then just starts sneaking around Macaulay because Macaulay Culkin's like, well, you can't just find me. I can't be like, oh, my dad's still at work. He just left me in the hotel forever.
Yeah.
Like he ran to the bathroom, and he starts playing Cool Jerk and turns on the shower. And the guy comes in, and it's the inflatable clown, and he's dancing. He has the recording from Uncle Frank, and it's, we know a guy who can really do the cool jerk. And then he like stops and looks towards the manager, and he says, "Get out of here, you nosy little pervert, or I'll slap you silly." The manager's like, "Oh my god, this isn't happening." He fucking runs out of there, as you would. He's like, "What the fuck am I doing?"
He's so pissed at himself. He trips
like,
over a fucking.
I just got caught spying on a guest in the shower. How do I explain this? How the fuck do I explain this? Like, I'm fucked.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, like, the door was like peeked open. He heard the shower running. He knew what he was getting himself into.
And he hears the singing.
He would, yeah,
You gotta just be like, all right, I'm wrong.
yeah. I
The man is here. I need to leave.
Yeah.
He's in the shower.
this guy is totally in the wrong.
Yeah. But he does, and then he runs out. Song, it's the most wonderful time of the year. Starts playing, and then it's pouring in Florida because fuck you.
Yeah.
That's why.
Come on.
Because fuck all of you in the fucking face. Kevin's going through his dad's address book and sees that his Uncle Rob lives in New York, and he's like, oh, if they're not back, or if they're back from Paris, I'll drop in and see them. They normally have pretty good presents.
Yeah, he just got like a booklet
Yeah.
with
just
like addresses.
back in the day. Like, no one had cell
Yeah.
phones. Dad
No.
had a little address book. Everyone's address, their phone number.
Makes sense.
Yeah. He then looks at a family photo and gets all sad, and then goes and looks out the window and sees the North Star on top of a building. We don't see what the building is, but he sees the North Star, and he says, "Good night, Mom." And then we see Mom staring out the window in Florida, and it's still pouring, because fuck you.
But yeah,
Because fuck you. Florida sucks.
Oh.
Go home alone. It's Chicago and New York. Those are the two places to be on Christmas. They don't even have Christmas trees in Florida.
fuck you guys.
Yeah. They don't travel down to Florida. You fucking assholes.
Yeah.
And she says, "Good night, Kevin."
And this must have been one of the scenes that she was like, "Oh, we got to throw this."
She was
in.
like, "Let's add that.
Come on, please.
Let's make me seem like
Look-
less of a
yeah.
fucking monster."
Let me look at the fucking rain. Just Florida making me
Just sad.
depressed.
Good night, Kevin. I love you. Next morning, Rob Schneider returns Kevin's underwear to his room, and he's like, "Hey!" And he like grabs it, and he's like, "What are you doing? You crazy? There could be girls on this floor." And he's like, "I promise you, I was very fucking whatever, whatever." But you're asked, why did he have his underwear? And it's Kevin, like, a part of the deal of him staying at the hotel is the manager got to have a pair of Kevin's underwear for an evening.
Yeah.
So we don't know what he did with them. We just know that he was in possession of them for one evening, and they would be cleaned and returned to Kevin when he was done.
Very fucking
So
weird.
whatever mess he made on them, we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know what the mess was, but we know that there was a mess
And that it was cleaned up.
and it was cleaned up prior to being returned to Kevin. So at least there's that. At least he cleaned them.
Yeah.
He could have returned, messy
Yeah.
underwear. There's Kevin's like, "Oh, you want a tip?" to Rob Schneider. He goes, "Oh, no, thank you. I still have some tip left over from last night." And he pulls the gum out, and then Kevin has a wad of 50s, and he's like, "All right."
And just close
He's
the
like,
door.
Good man. And then close the door. Kevin then comes off the elevator, and the manager sees him and he goes, "Mr. McAllister!" And just runs away from the guy he was helping. And he's like, "Hey, just so last night, what's Kevin says, "Did you arrange my transportation?" He said, "Yep, there's a limousine out front and a pizza. Compliments of the Plaza Hotel." And then he also makes Kevin realize, he's like, "Look, this is what your life can be like if you're with me, all right?
All
I don't want
day,
you fucking
every
around. I
day.
don't want you giving that switch up for nobody, all right? I want you to be with me, all right?
Okay.
Hey, you think I'm not going to take care of you? I'm going to take care of you, all right?
Promise.
You just got to let me take care of you. all right?
But
Hey, no but. No shh. No buts, all right? You let Daddy take care of you.
okay.
And life's going to be just limousines and cheese pizza from here on out, bud, all right?"
Okay.
And Kevin's like, "All right, that sounds good." He's like, "That sounds really good." He's like, "Can I apologize to your dad? Like, is your dad coming down?" And he's like, "He left already." He's like, "I wanted to apologize to him for last night." And he's like, "Hey, you would you want to see the guy spying on you when you were in the shower? Do you want to talk to him? Like, I don't think you're going to see him the rest of the time we're here. And
He's
guy's
like, yeah.
like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So Kevin walks out. Or the guy then goes to charge the credit card on file. They kept Dad's credit card on file. He's charging it now. The doorman says, "Good morning, Mr. McAllister." Is that they just all know every guest's name? He's been there for one day, and we've not seen them interact.
Yeah, highly
Doorman's
doubt
like,
it.
"Oh, good morning, Mr. McAllister." And he's like, "Hey."
Let's say for the sake of doubt that the dude who's spying was like, everyone's got to address.
He's like, let's let's overdo it with this fucking family.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Maybe.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Starts playing. Rob Schneider presents Kevin with his very own cheese pizza at the limo. And
I mean,
Kevin's like,
steam coming off of it.
He's riding around in the back of the limo. He's eating cheese pizza. He's drinking Coke out of a champagne glass.
He's got Grinch on the TV.
Like he's just living it up.
Oh, yeah.
He calls the driver and says, "You know any good toy stores?" And he's like, "Do I ever? Do I fucking ever?"
Which is weird.
And then, I mean, that he knows the toy stores?
He knows, he's ready to go.
I mean, he's a limo driver. Kevin's probably not the first kid he's ever driven, but for the sake of arguments, let's say he is. He prepared for this.
Oh, yeah.
He knew he was picking a kid up. He was like, all right, let me look up some shit that kids might do.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and he's like fucking...
Guy's professional.
He's like fucking Toy Story. The guy's at the top of his game in the limo business. Name a better limo driver. You fucking can't... Unless Eddie Murphy's driven a limo in a movie, there's not a better limo driver in the business.
Definitely not the dude from Die Hard.
No.
Yeah.
No, and that's racist that you made that connection.
Whoa.
Eddie Murphy
Whoa.
would be the only better limo driver. The guy, I don't know if this... So I have an issue with this. We'll take a break after we talk about this.
Okay.
He runs the credit card, and on the credit card machine, it just in all caps says, "Stolen."
Yeah, that's not how it's... I don't think that's how it goes.
But let's say that is how... It's not. But let's say it would just say declined. It wouldn't say stolen.
Exactly.
But let's say for sure it does.
Yeah.
Home Alone dad, his son is somewhere, doesn't know where. He's a child. His kid doesn't have his own money. Rather than letting him use the credit card, and we can then track it and see where he is, he's like, "Well, I can't be getting all these fucking credit card bills that Kevin's going to be running up. I got to cancel it." And he reports it stolen. He reports it stolen, cancels it, so that Kevin can't use it? Are you fucking kidding me?
So idiotic.
That isn't this. These are the worst human beings on the fucking planet.
It's like, this is what they use for parenting 101 as to what not to do.
Yeah, don't give your kid a credit card that he's not able to use.
Yeah.
When you abandon him and he's in New York by himself.
Oh, my God.
Let him use it, then you can see where he is and go get him. Instead of just report it stolen.
And anyway,
fucking nuts.
Let him run it up, and then later you can be like, "Oh, it was stolen."
It was fucking stolen.
And then
I
it's
wasn't
easier
in
to-
New York.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
And
Bad
guys,
parenting.
that's, for editing purposes, we're going to take a quick break here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
And we're back.
We're back.
Hey, Derek Cheater, fuck you. If you're watching the video, you'll have noticed that the video cut out. Technical difficulties, they happen. If you're listening to the audio, you didn't notice.
Yeah.
It was business as usual for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the audio still.
Nice.
So we're in Central Park. Joe Pesci's just beating pigeons with a newspaper and yelling at him. He calls Marv over. Marv, he's skating. Marv's out there skating. Marv's a good skater, too.
Good. Yep.
He's skating, and he, steals a scarf from somebody, and he steals, earmuffs from a kid and a beanie and mittens. Nobody questions him stealing all this shit.
He's a sticky bandit.
He steals from multiple people, and not one person's like, "Hey, that's my hat." Not once is anyone like, "What the fuck? Stop it."
Well, the thing is, it's an ice skating ring. So the moment someone notices their shit's gone, they're gonna start looking for it, and they're gonna see this dude with bright fucking orange ear muffins or whatever the fuck, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, those are mine."
Yeah.
How did that not happen?
Absolutely. Not once. Not once did it happen. Joe Pesci wants to rob Duncan's toy chest on Christmas Eve because they'll have tons of cash. He's like, they're going to have tons of cash. We can't get jewelry or anything like that because we don't have time to flip it. We just got to go somewhere, get cash, get out. And
bro down.
So there we go. Kevin is at Duncan's toy chest. He's there shopping. That's where his limo driver took him. And this place is bananas. Think, like, probably the most expensive part of this movie was creating, because it wasn't a real toy store. They built this. They used a fucking theater and built this out. Like, think FAO Schwartz, but without the creepy tree and just way more Christmassy. Like, it's bananas. Go look at it if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, all the kids are going nuts.
They're loving it, and they're playing. The toys are out there for them to play with. It's great. Joe Pesci and Marv are hiding in playhouses, and every time people walk by, they, like, freeze as though they're a part of the house, as though...
They're not going to notice his fucking head sticking out.
So, like, they see the head, but if they freeze, they think, oh, that head's supposed to be there.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be a creepy-looking middle-aged man in this child's playhouse. That's the toy.
Yeah. And they're
crazy.
Like, and we're going to wait here until, like, midnight, till everyone's gone.
Yeah, and they just keep, like, they're talking, people walk by, and they're like... So, like, they're just like, oh, yeah, no, that's part of the decoration. Not very Christmassy, but whatever. You know, you can't hit them all.
We could fit an adult male in this tiny home.
Yeah, it's good to know.
Yeah.
More likely to get it now. Old man behind the counter. Kevin's checking out. He gets something cool looking. Looks like Bowser on a stick.
Yeah.
And the old man behind the counter asks Kevin if he's all alone and where he got all the cash. And he's like, I'm not alone. This is New York, you fucking psycho. And he's like, I got a lot of grandmothers. He's a fucking envelope just full of cash. And Kevin told the old man, he's like, yeah, that Mr. Duncan must be really nice, letting all the kids come here and play with his toys. And this old man's like, oh, Mr. Duncan, he loves kids, and kids love him, and I don't want to make a pedophile joke. I see you smiling. I don't want to, because he's a very nice man.
I was like, when's it going to come up?
Yeah. And the guy's like, Mr. Duncan, on everything he makes on Christmas Eve, all the money he makes, he collects it, and he takes it down to the St. Anne's Children's Hospital and gives it to them. He doesn't make a dime off of his busiest day of the year. Kevin's like, wow, that's amazing, and then pulls out $20. And he's like, well, the kids need this more than I do. And he's like, oh, that's very nice of you. Like, he's like on the verge of tears. Can't believe how generous this kid's being. He's like, why don't you take an ornament off the tree? He's like, if I could suggest one. He's like, do the turtle doves. He's like, there's two of them. He's like, I can get two? He's like, well, 2 turtle doves. And he explains, he's like, you keep one, and you give one to someone. I wish we had turtle doves to exchange right now, man.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Yeah,
That's a shame that we don't have them.
He's so fucking great.
He's like, I wish like I reached into my pocket, and I was just like, here you go. Yeah, it's a missed opportunity on the 5-6 kicks.
One day.
And he's like, you keep one, and then you give one to someone very special. And as long as you both have the turtle dove, you'll be friends forever. And he's like, wow. Thank you. And he thanks him, and Kevin tells the old man, he's like, if you go outside, make sure you bundle up. It's a bit nippy. And then Kevin, as he's walking out, he looks, and there's a big portrait on the wall, and it's of E.F. Duncan, and it's the old man that he was just talking to. And then he turns around, and the old man's gone.
Yeah.
What is this fucking witchcraft going on here?
Fucking Christmas
the
magic.
fucking wizard just showed up, and then he disappeared into the night.
And the wizard was right, because it was so cold that apparently on set, the camera froze like 3 times.
Kevin said it was cold.
Oh, Kevin. Oh.
So I hope Kevin ad-libbed that. I
Yeah.
hope it was fucking freezing in there.
Dude,
And then,
it's-
like, before he leaves, like, you better bundle up, because it's fucking cold. Kevin, he walks out of the store, and he has a map of Manhattan that he's reading. Joe Pesci and Marv walk out of the store, and Joe Pesci's like, all right, where to now, Marv? And he's like, you promised you'd take me to the Central Park Zoo. Which I love. Means they had the conversation, and Joe Pesci's like, all right, I promise I'll take you to the Central Park Zoo. All right,
Listen,
Marv?
yeah.
I promise we'll find time. I'll take it. Because he's like, we got to get that cash and get out. And he's like, I want to go to the zoo.
All right, first we're going to scope it out, then we'll go to the zoo, then we'll come back and we're going to rob it.
It's getting a call. Hey, B, you're calling me right now, but I'm recording the 5-6 Kings podcast. So I didn't answer, but it's because you were calling during a recording. So Joe Pesci then sees Kevin, and he's like, get the fuck out of here. And Marv's like, let's get him.
Let's fucking
They
get
go
him.
up to him. He says, hiya, pal.
And when he turns around, he immediately just starts screaming at the top of his lungs. Ah! And the fucking sidewalk is packed. So here's another moment where no one does anything.
People stopped and looked, though.
Yeah, a little bit, but
Yeah.
like,
People stopped. They gave him the opening because he runs off.
Yeah.
And they do not have him at this moment.
yeah.
They gave him that open. He screamed, and people stopped, and Joe Pesci was like, I
This
just broke out of prison, and I got a kid screaming at me.
This doesn't look good.
Public, this is bad. So
But-
he runs, and they kind of play it cool, and then they chase after him.
Yeah.
I mean, someone should have done more. Someone should have watched Joe
Yeah,
Pesci
that's
and
that-
Marv
that's-
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, yeah.
But they gave him the opening. They
Yeah.
were like, all right, my life ain't so good. I can afford to get mixed up in this kid's life, so I'm going to keep going. Kevin buys a necklace. It was like little bead necklaces. It was 2 for $5, 4 for $10, which isn't a deal. It should have been like 5 for $10.
Yeah.
But I guess guys got to make money.
Yeah.
So fuck it. But so he buys a bunch of them.
He's thinking on his feet.
And then they're chasing him. He breaks them off, and all the beads are on the ground. So Marv and Joe Pesci, they slip on him.
Man, does
Go
that
up
bring
in
back
there.
some memories for me?
Speak on it.
Oh, David, didn't I already
Yeah,
speak on it?
but talk. Come on.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not for me. For the fucking listener. Go.
Oh, yeah. Well, guys.
I know what you're talking about.
Me and
you're
Dave-
like, hey, you were there. You were there when that happened. Don't even worry. Like, what do we talk? Yeah, there's people listening. There's people watching.
Well, guys, all you listening and watching out there, me and David, we're getting in some mischief. Type.
We all do.
We all do, and on the way back from doing all that bad stuff, we
Mischief. Don't say bad stuff. Sounds just mischief.
Yeah, mischief. Coming back from all the mischief, we were getting dropped off at the mall, and then I happened to see my mom, and she started following us. Just like, it was just a weird, like, oh, there they are. She just starts driving around, following us. As we're getting dropped off at the front door, it is, once again, Florida, pouring fucking rain. So as we're running up, and because it's pouring rain, there's so many people who aren't leaving the mall yet because they're like, we're just going to wait for the rain. And as we're running up, I fucking slip, and I see my feet come up into the sky before I even hit the fucking ground. First thing that hits the ground is the back of my head. That's how bad I slipped. As bad as these two fucking chumps.
It was pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
everyone, we walk inside the
People
mall,
went-
everyone's
People
clapping.
went crazy. A dude ran over and high-fived Braden.
Yes.
Like, it was fun.
Yeah. But did we get caught?
We
Nope.
then ate Chinese food and walked around the mall. Dude,
Perfect day.
the way so your mom was there. She was calling you.
Yeah.
You're just ignoring her. We stayed in the mall for like 2 more hours. Just ignoring her phone call.
Just playing it cool.
And avoiding her.
Playing it cool, baby.
It's bananas that your mom was not just fucking, not like, hey, Braden, you are never going to be around David again. You two are done. The fact that she was just like, hey, I don't like that you did that.
Well, what's funny too is no one was like, "Hey, are you okay?" Like all these grown-ups are just clapping that. I just fucking
you got up
ate
and kept
shit.
going. They were on board.
Yeah. Great times.
Kevin then runs up to the manager and he's like, you got to help me. There's 2 men chasing me. And the manager thinks this is a good time. He just confronts him. He's like, what do you mean 2 men? He's like, these 2 men, they're chasing me. And he goes, why the fuck are you talking to other men? All right? I told you earlier, you're my bitch, all right? You're out there, you're talking, 2 men?
2?
Not 1 man, 2, and they're chasing after you?
Yeah.
You know what? Fuck you. Good luck.
Full grown.
Good luck. He's like,
Wow.
by the way, the fucking credit card's stolen.
Yeah.
All right? Good luck. Now, he confronts him on the credit card. He's like, oh, what's the matter? Your stolen credit card wouldn't work? And he's like, what? Dude, just stop. Stop. What the fuck's going on? So he runs away from that guy.
Yeah.
And in the hotel, he's just dipping and dodging all of the staff members, and they're running into each other. And he gets on.
He's quick.
He gets on the elevator and goes up to the room, and he opens the mini bar.
Grabs 3 cookies.
3 cookies. He had a bag that
Coulda
he
grabbed
could have just
everything.
dumped everything in.
Yeah.
it and been like, oh, I'm fucking set.
He grabs 3
cookies
cookies to survive.
and goes and he could have just grabbed more cookies.
Yeah.
They're like little individually wrapped chocolate chip cookies. There was 20 of them.
Yeah.
He grabs 3. Doesn't want to be gluttonous.
That's a good point.
So Joe Pesci and Marv watched him run into the hotel. So the staff gets up to the room and he hides in, it's a suite, so he hides in the other room and plays the audio from the movie. It's the same thing he did to the pizza man, but this time he does it to the hotel staff.
Because why not? If it worked once, it's going to work again.
Yeah, and it did.
Yeah.
It did. He was like, you've been smooching with everybody. Even that loser with the fucking gimpy leg. I can't believe you.
And Pennywise is like, I haven't been smooching.
He's like, I'm afraid you're a mistake. Because he's like, you were here last night too, wasn't you? And he's like, I was.
Actually,
I was. Yes, sir. He's like, you were smooching with my brother. And he's like, oh, no.
No. I think you must have it mistaken.
He's like, you've been smooching with everyone. Bomb, Lil Mo with the gimpy leg, Tony, Boney Bob, Cliff.
And then there's a guy at the fucking end that's name is Cliff. He looks down. He's like,
name tag Cliff.
I swear I did it.
He's like, no, it's a lie. He's like, get down on your knees and tell me you love me. And the manager gets down on his knees and says, I love you. And he goes, you got to do better than that. And then they all get down on their knees and they say, I love you. And then he does the count of 3 and starts shooting. They all run out.
They all think they're literally getting shot
they're
up.
freaking out. They're like, oh my, this is fucking nuts.
The other people start coming out the rooms.
They're like, get back in your robes. Get back. He's got a fucking gun. This is nuts.
Yeah, and instead of taking off immediately, Macaulay Culkin is he's so confident, he waits around. He's like, I gotta watch the punchline.
He's got to soak it in, of
Yeah.
course. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
Yeah.
And like he starts to run, and then he comes back for, and a Happy New Year. And Macaulay Culkin goes, and he runs out the loading dock exit, the back exit of the place, and Joe Pesci and Marv are waiting for him.
Like clockwork.
They fucking catch him. And they're like, oh, let's see what you got here. They go through his bag. They look at his plane tickets, and it's, round trip to Miami. You won't be needing these. And then Marv says, American don't fly to the promised land, little buddy. Not yet, anyways. In a couple of years, they're going to start flying to the promised land. But until then, you're stuck with me.
Damn.
And they're telling Kevin about their plan. Marv just overshares. He's like, we're going to rob Duncan's toy chest tonight at midnight. It's going to be great. And then we're going to get out of here. And everybody's like, why are you telling him all this? He's like, well, we're going to fucking kill him anyways. What's it matter? Got to tell somebody. So they tell him they're like, we're taking you somewhere to kill you. They're like, but don't you think about screaming or running, because we'll kill you. The threat doesn't work.
Yeah.
The threat does. You're doing the threat.
Yeah.
You can't threaten him when you're already going to... You're going to die sooner,
And
we'll get caught, or we'll take you somewhere where we can kill you and you'll never be found.
Oof.
All right? You'd rather than never be found one, so you better keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
They're standing behind a pretty lady at a crosswalk, and Kevin pinches her ass, and she turns around and looks at them, and Marv looks at her, and he goes, well, hello. And she punches him in the face, and he says, he did it. Points to Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci didn't go, no, I didn't. This is a misunderstanding. He goes, did what? And then the lady punches him, and Kevin says, thanks, and runs off.
Oh, he's just such a smart kid.
He runs through Central Park. He hides in the trunk of a horse carriage. And Joe Pesci and Marv, like, they come out, they're like, we lost him. Joe Pesci's like, I don't like that little creep being out here while we do this. He's like, it's fine. He's a kid in the park. Kids are scared of the park. Because in Home Alone 1, kids are scared of the dark, is what he said. So now it's kids are scared of the park. It's fucking. This is just fucking banger after banger.
It's like they put both scripts on top of each other and just like change it
little bit. Just a little bit. Never gonna be like, you said that the first one. They go and Marv pulls a hat off a guy's head because he's a sticky bandit, and the guy doesn't question it.
Stickiest.
Kevin peeks out of the trunk and then says to himself, I want to go home. Mom, where are you? So now we're back in shitty fucking Florida. The whole family is in one shitty motel room. This was their vacation. They're like, we're all going to go to the shitty motel room.
Yeah, that's not brought up. I thought maybe they just did this.
They're wealthy.
Yeah. Maybe they just did this because of the situation that's going on, but it's like, no, this is probably what they both...
This is where they went.
Yeah.
Fucking nuts.
And they're all just watching TV, just waiting for...
But here's... The TV is in Spanish, and none of them speak Spanish. They all look confused. Because fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Miami
That's
only has Spanish TV.
Come on.
It's just Fuck you,
What do you
Home
think? That's
Alone.
all? It's just all Telemundo down
It's
here.
just all spics down. They're like, oh, the spics down in Miami. They took over the media, and it's just all spic shows. That is what they said.
It's crazy.
These people are monsters.
Yeah.
I love my Latino brothers and sisters.
And the 5-6 Kings will not stand for it.
Did we talk about it on here? Who's the most racist of all the Hispanics?
What do you mean?
There's a correct answer. Which Spanish-speaking people are the most racist of all of them? There's a
Like-
correct answer. Which ones are the most racist?
like Mexicans?
No.
Oh.
You think Mexicans would be the most racist?
I have no idea what you're...
It's Cubans.
Oh.
It's Cubans by a mile.
Oh.
By a fucking mile. Far and away the most racist of all the Spanish-speaking people, the Cubans. Congratulations, Cubans. So the police call and they say Kevin's in New York, but we don't know where in New York. And the whole family's like, we're going to New York.
Woohoo!
Home Alone dad's brother is in Paris, we find out, and the house is being renovated. So they don't have a housekeeper and no one's there.
Yeah.
Kevin then shows up to the house and finds out that nobody's there because the house is being renovated. And they're in
I mean, it
Paris.
doesn't just look like it's being renovated. This thing looks like it is trashed.
So it's early stages of renovation, but it's Christmas. Like they're taking
yeah.
time. Like they've kind of just gutted it.
yeah.
They've gutted it. They've knocked out some floors and
Like
some
when
walls.
someone's gutting it and they're just having fun with it.
Yeah.
Where they're just swinging hammers and shit.
They're like, they're in Paris.
Yeah.
We got a long time to get this thing done.
Yeah.
The streets of New York are wild. There's just people giving Kevin dirty looks. There's people bumping into him. There's a homeless man who says, "Watch it, kid." And then two prostitutes are standing on the corner and they go, "Oh, look at you. You need someone to read you a bedtime story." It's like you felt like if he had the cash, they'd read him a bedtime story. They'd read him a story and put him to bed.
Yeah.
Without a second thought.
Oh,
if
without a second
he
thought.
offered up the cash. He then gets a taxi. When he gets in, he's like, "Man, it's scary out there." And the guy's face is a nightmare and he just goes, "Ain't much better in here, kid." And he runs out of there.
So
Just
obviously the
can't catch a
writer
break.
doesn't like Miami and was it Central Park of New York?
Well, he's just saying New York would be scary.
Nah.
Because they glorify New York a lot.
Yeah.
But just they're like nighttime, go to New York's beautiful.
Oh, perfect.
Go there, go visit. You'd rather be there than Miami.
Yeah.
But like at night it can get dangerous. Just, keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah.
That's all they're saying.
Ah, that makes sense.
He's feeding pigeons with his cookie. He took 3 cookies and he's giving it to the fucking pigeons.
And he literally says something about how,
He's
you're
like,
taking all my
yeah,
cookies.
he's like, "I don't have enough for all of you." Pigeon lady then creeps up on
Oh,
Kevin. and
she like rises from like the rocks with a pigeon on her fucking head.
Kevin tries to run, but his foot's stuck. So she comes and she holds him down.
Yeah.
And then she sucks his flaccid little wiener. Yeah, he's young. He's not getting a boner from it. So he's got a flaccid little wiener, and she's just sucking on it for a
Oh
while.
my God.
For a while where you're like, all right, we get it. She's sucking on his fucking tiny, soft little wiener.
Oh, damn it.
How long are we going to do this for?
Such-
And it's like 3 minutes. It's like 3 minutes, and you're like, Jesus, stop it. Stop. It's most of the movie is this lady sucking Kevin Macaulay Culkin's tiny, flaccid wiener. Most of the movie.
Wow.
He then starts to run away and then stops and he starts talking through to her all of the things about her that make her scary, but maybe she's not that bad because the pigeons like her. And he's like, Am I bothering you? You can tell me if I'm bothering you. And she's like, No.
She agrees with everything. She's like, I know, I'm fucking
Yeah,
creepy
it's
as
fucking-
shit.
Absolutely.
Look at the pigeons.
And she's like, You're not bothering me. And then he's like, How do you get them to come to you? And then she comes over and she pours seed in his hand. And she's like, They can hear it. And then he throws it up in the air and the pigeons all come down and get him. And he's like, Can I buy you a hot chocolate? And she smiles and nods. And he goes, Man, I'd hate to be in Central Park on Christmas Eve. You know any place warm? She's like, I know a place. And the place warm is they get into the attic of Carnegie Hall.
Oh, the best.
during like an orchestra performance. Like
Because no one else would be up there.
like why is no one? Why does the homeless pigeon lady know of an access point to the ad? And there's stuff in there.
Yeah.
There's like equipment up there. Like,
Yeah.
they just have access to that. They're up in Carnegie Hall. It's amazing. The orchestra's playing. Oh, come all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come all ye faithful to Bethlehem. Oh, come, let us adore him.
Yeah.
They're playing that. It sounds beautiful. And she tells Kevin, they talk a bunch, but she's like, I don't have any friends. He's like, you ever bring your friends up here? She's like, I don't have any. And he's like, oh, that's too bad.
Who needs friends when you got pigeons?
Yeah. And she's like, people ignore me on the street. And Kevin's like, yeah, I'm in the same boat. Swear to God. He's like, yeah, it's the same. You know, I'm a big family, and I feel like I got to fight for my voice to be heard. And she's like, yeah, that's the same thing I'm going through.
Yeah, tough life.
And she's like, I didn't always used to be like this. I had a job, a home, a family. He's like, do you have any kids? She's like, oh, I wanted them. But the man I was in love with fell out of love with me. And she's like, I think I'm afraid to love people because I'm just afraid to have my heart broken again. And he's like, well, that's pretty dumb. He's like, it's like when I had this pair of rollerblades that were really nice. So nice that I didn't want to wear them because I didn't want to ruin them. And then guess what happened? She's like, what? He's like, I grew out of them. She's like, yeah, it's the same thing. She's like, you're right. This is exactly what's going on. He's like,
I shed a tear.
He's like, if you're not using your heart, like, if you get it broken, at least you're using it. You know, use your heart. Don't grow out of love.
Letting it go to waste.
She's like, oh man. And then she's like, I haven't spoken to a human being in years. You're the first one. And he's like, that's wild. He's like, you're really nice. You should talk more, but you should just clean the fuck up. You're covered in bird shit. Like, be presentable. I was scared of you. I was screaming and shit. It took you sucking on my flaccid little wiener for me to want to talk to you. Like, be approachable. You're covered in birds and shit, and you just stare at people. Yeah, of course you haven't spoken to anyone in years. Clean the fuck up.
It's wise words.
He then blames himself for everything bad that's going on in his life. And he's like, I don't deserve a Christmas. I'm just a piece of shit. Because he has an abusive fucking family. He has terrible parents who blame him and allow him to blame himself for this nonsense. It's bananas.
Yeah, and allow his older brother to pick on him.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts. These are horrible people.
Ugh.
Horrible people who should not have kids. And she tells him, she's like, well, good deeds cancel out bad deeds. He's like, really? He's like, I've done a lot of bad. She's like, well, it's Christmas Eve. They count extra. He's like, oh, shit.
Really?
He's like, well, I better get working on those good deeds. And then he wishes her Merry Christmas and says he won't forget her. And she says, don't make promises you can't keep. Which is just a weird, like, yeah, bullshit. You're going to forget me, asshole. I'm nobody. I'm a piece of shit. Feel bad for me. This is a kid, lady. Just say, Merry Christmas, Kevin, and let that be the end of it. All right? You already sucked on his wiener. Just let him go. He's leaving. He sees the North Star on the building and walks toward it this time, and it's the Children's Hospital.
What?
Him and a kid exchange waves.
And that's when he has this, like, epiphany.
Yeah, in his mind, he can hear Mr. Duncan's voice talking about how he brings the money to the Children's Hospital the day after Christmas every year. Then he hears Marv's voice saying, we're gonna rob Duncan's toy chest. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
And he says, you can mess with a lot of things, but you can't mess with kids on Christmas.
Yeah.
And then he starts running. It's 9 p.m. He runs to his uncle's house and starts prepping it. He uses...
He immediately has a ginormous little blueprint plan that he unravels.
He never leaves the house without it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
He preps through all the places he might end up, and he might need the blueprint.
Because he's a psychopath.
He's just prepared.
Yeah, that too, yeah.
Yeah. Because he feels bad. He's not a psychopath because he has empathy.
Oh, yeah.
But he's a fucked up kid. Life's not going to be easy for him.
Oh, yeah.
He has jumper cables and the toy from Duncan's with some green goo that he sprayed on a lot of stuff and kerosene and holes and he's sawing wood and just the works. The house is gonna be crazy. We're at the plaza. Should we take a break? We should. It's been about 28 minutes, guys. For what have I been saying?
Filmmaking purposes.
No, for editing purposes. For editing purposes, we're gonna take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. So we'll be right back.
That's right.
And we're back.
Hey,
Derek Cheater. Fuck you.
Just a fucking piece of shit.
So we're at the plaza, and the family blames the hotel staff for everything. They're like, it's our son is lost. He's all alone in one of the biggest cities in the world, and it is your fault.
You let him leave?
These pieces of shit.
Yeah.
No accountability on their part.
At all.
No part. It is Kevin's fault, and it is the hotel staff's fault.
You're going to run my credit card, but you're just going to let him leave.
It is fucking nuts.
Ugh.
The mom insists on going out to look for him, and Home Alone Dad's like, you can't go out in the city. That's crazy. And the staff's like,
Pennywise
you can't go out in the city. She's like, crazy.
Fuck you.
You're gonna get raped. And she's like, you shut your fucking mouth. And he's like, I'm going out. I'm looking for her. And then Pennywise again is like, no, you shouldn't do that. And she smacks him in the face, and he says, do bundle up. It's very cold outside.
Yes.
It is now midnight. JP and Marv are at the store. They lock up everything at the store, and then they go up to the registers. Crowbars up.
That made a cute little...
They tap crowbars, and then they break into the registers, and like a fucking big chest full of cash. So much cash.
Oh, so much.
So much cash. Kevin...
All that toy money.
Kevin sets up a seesaw type thing, and then knocks on the window and takes their picture. So they see that he has a picture
Hey, that
of
little
him.
rat took my picture.
He then has a rock with a note on it, and he says, no turning back, another Christmas in the trenches. Which is fucking sick.
Going to war.
Throws it through the window, it shatters, the alarm sounds, and they're like, shit. Joe Pesci gets out first, and he jumps on one end of the seesaw, and then rather than continuing to run after the kid, he looks down and realizes it and goes, no, Marv, don't go! And Marv jumps, and he launches Joe Pesci, and he destroys a car.
Yeah, which it's like, dude, just jump off the fucking... What? Like, it took you more time to turn around.
Yeah.
It was just... it's just stupid.
Marv says, oh, Harry, that was incredible. I twisted my ankle a little bit on that board, though. It kind of hurt. And then Macaulay Culkin says, smile, and takes their picture again, and Marv smiles. He was on board for that one.
Yeah.
So he's running away. Mom goes to the uncle's house, but like knocks on the door, yells, Kevin, and then quickly gives up and gets in a cab. Like, she's there 30 seconds. And right after she gets in the cab, Kevin runs up. Like, as the cab's pulling away,
yeah,
Kevin runs up, and he gets into the house. He's on top. Joe Pesci and Marv are running by, and he's like, I'm up here. Come and get me. He's on top of the roof.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? Marv's like, all right, let's go get him. And Joe Pesci's like, hey, let's not underestimate the kid this time. And Joe Pesci says, kid, nothing would thrill me more than to shoot you. Knocking off a youngster's not going to mean that much to me. But I'll tell you what, since we're in the Christmas spirit, you toss down your camera and we'll never bother you again. And he says, you promise? And he says, I cross my heart and hope to die. And he's like, okay. And he's like, all right, throw it down. And then he throws a brick down, and Joe Pesci avoids it and hits Marv in the face. And then he says, how many fingers am I holding up, Marv? He holds up 2. And Marv goes, 8? And you're like, that's not good. That's way off. And Joe Pesci's like, keep throwing him, you little bitch. Come on. And he just keeps throwing and hitting Marv in the face with these bricks. And Joe Pesci keeps telling him to do it. And then Joe Pesci...
This shit is hitting him.
He's like, all right, was that you out of bricks now? He's like, yeah, I'm out of bricks. And he's like, all right, Marv, he's out of bricks. Come on. And then he's holding up, and Marv's like, hey, look out, Joe Pesci. Look out. And then he throws it, and Joe Pesci turns around, sees the brick, and he dodges it, and it hits Marv in the head again. He's like, no one throws bricks at me and gets away with it. All right, Marv, I'm going in the back. You go in here. And so Marv gets up first and pulls the doorknob, that's attached to a string, and he starts pulling on it, and the string's attached to like a big staple gun, it's like thick staples, and he gets stapled in the ass, and then in the
Literally
dick,
in the dick, they show it.
yeah, in the dick, through the urethra, they
Yeah.
show it,
Oh,
and then he falls down and hits him in the face.
dude. So the fun
Ass
facts.
dick face.
Yeah,
not
I mean
good.
the worst. The fun facts they provide sometimes is hilarious. So it says, according to Entertainment Weekly, who had a doctor analyze the effects of tricky Kevin stunts, a brick to the face would have caused at best brain damage, at worst death. It says the bandits would have been seriously injured in real life. Like, no fucking duh. They would have been seriously injured. The dude just got shot in the dick and had 3 bricks to the face. This is like the bare minimum that's happened too.
Yeah,
Like,
at best brain damage. It's great.
like they needed a doctor to come on the show
Yeah.
to go over that.
Joe Pesci then tries some fucking parkour move that even if the bottom rail of the ladder wasn't covered in goo, he wasn't gonna do.
Yeah.
He was gonna jump and like grab the fire escape ladder and like use his momentum to swing through a window that wasn't he wasn't gonna get it and then climb up it
Yeah.
and go in. He was gonna he looked and
Tarzan.
saw, and he's like, all right, I could do this, and he can't.
No.
But
yeah.
the thing's covered in goo, and Marv gets into the house and he yells, "Harry, I've reached the top," and then doesn't look, and there's no floor where he's about to walk, and then he just falls down. Joe Pesci gets in the back door, and a bunch of tools fall on him.
Yeah. You think your awareness would be all over the fucking place by now?
Yeah,
No.
this is year 2.
Yeah,
you gotta be fucking on it. Marv gets up and he cracks his back, and then he looks up and he says, "Wow, what a hole." And then he slips because the ground's all covered in goo.
Yeah.
And when he falls, it seemed like level. It did not seem sloped enough to where he should do what he did.
Well, there's not enough momentum for the way he was
But
walking
he
either.
fell and then slid fast.
Oh, super fast.
Like straight ahead into the shelving with paint, and then
Yeah.
just gets covered in paint.
Oh, all the paint's open.
Joe Pesci avoids falling in a hole and insists on turning on every light as he passes it. And like he has his guard up in the beginning. He's like doing it, and then he's like, all right, we're good. Why turn them all on? Last year he turned a light on and his scalp got burned.
Yeah.
He's like, let's do it again. I need all these lights on.
I know this is going to work.
Yeah. Kevin then murders Marv via electrocution. There's
Oh,
no other way to say it.
No, there's no other
he
way to
hooks
say it.
up jumper cables to the sink, and when Marv grabs the handle,
And that's the thing. When shit like that happens, you can't let go.
no,
Yeah.
he was stuck. He was spoilers. Hit 15 seconds right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a fucking Ozark situation.
Yeah.
How fucking Ruth kills her dad.
Yeah. It's exactly the same.
Hey, we're back. The spoiler's over.
Whoa.
But yeah, he murders Marv.
And even as he's murdering him, turns up the voltage.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see this fucker burn.
Joe Pesci is way too comfortable turning on the lights, and one burns his scalp again, and he freaks out and goes and sees that there's water in the toilet. Unfortunately, we know that Kevin, I don't know what it was some flammable liquid that he poured in there.
Dude.
And Joe Pesci goes headfirst into it, and there's a explosion. So
We just see
he's killed both of them.
Oh, fucking head
both
is
of
gone.
them are murdered.
Yeah, easily in real life, both of them stupid dead right now.
Marv tries climbing a rope that's tied to concrete mix, and the bag of concrete mix just falls and hits him.
So that's all. I mean, dude, the repetitiveness of even some of these tricks.
I mean,
Let's keep going on.
These fools that keep falling for him.
Yeah.
Marv then says, "I'm gonna murder that kid," and then we see him. He builds a ladder to heaven.
Yeah.
Because his friend Kenny died, and he's got the ticket to get the free candy
Where were you?
shopping. When they built the ladder to
heaven.
heaven. So he builds the ladder to heaven, and it falls just as he gets to the top. So he's hanging, and he sees fuckface Kevin
Yeah.
run by, and he starts screaming, "Harry! Harry is in the living room!"
And Harry's just checking out his burnt ass fucking
Yeah, he's
face.
fucked up. And he's like, "Ah, shit, all right, I'll get him. I'll get him. He starts
Just
climbing
cleaning
up.
his grill or something.
Kid starts climbing a ladder, and Joe Pesci goes and tries to climb it too, but we saw Kevin saw it earlier, and it can't hold Pesci's weight, so he falls.
And he falls with the ladder in it, and he gets fucking hurt.
Yeah, Marv then
He like hurries up to go and help him.
gets Kevin's like, you guys should use the stairs, and he's like, oh, good thinking. They go to use the stairs. Joe Pesci's like, hey, remember last year? He's like, no, I don't remember last year. He's like, he threw the paint cans at us. Let's pretend like we're going up. And he's like, boom, all right, let's get him. Boom, 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 boom. Then they stop, and he throws a paint can, and
Just goes fucking
Joe Pesci
swinging.
catches it, and he's like, oh, got me right in the mouth.
Marv's fucking loving it.
Marvin goes, oh, don't worry, I'll get him. And he goes, boom, 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 and then, right in the schnoz.
Right in the schnoz.
And then, like, all right, now let's really get him. And then Kevin throws, like, a metal beam.
I don't know where the fuck he gets his
Yeah.
metal beam. And they made it seem so solid that they must have weighed like 100 pounds. Like, there's no way this kid's bringing it up there.
It hits both of them in the face and knocks them off the stairs, down the hole into the basement. And then he cuts the rope, and the beam just goes down the stairs through the hole on top of them in the basement.
And crushes their organs, and they die a slow, painful
dead.
death.
They died before that.
Oh, yeah.
They're the fucking face boom down there. No,
Yeah,
you're not living.
Yeah.
Marvin, Joe Pesci then build another ladder to heaven, and they get up there, and it falls right after they get up, but it served its purpose. Joe Pesci gave him shit.
Yeah.
Kevin then says, you guys give up? You had enough pain? And Marv says, never! Never! And they're chasing after him, and Marv says, I hope your parents bought you a tombstone for Christmas. Dark. And they get to, like, a door, and there's stairs ahead of it, like, going up to the roof, and there's loud noise, like, boom, 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 boom. So naturally, they just listen against the door, and they're like, what is that?
What could that be? It's getting louder.
And it's a big tool chest, and it hits the door and slams them into the wall, like crushing them.
Not really realistic as to how it actually played out, but
No, but
yeah.
is what it is.
Yeah.
Most of this isn't. Kevin then rappels down the side of the building in the rope that he soaked in kerosene.
Smart.
Marv comes up there and grabs a brick and yells, "Suck brick, kid!" and throws it.
Just
misses
fucking
him.
misses by a mile.
They start trying to rappel down the side of the building, and Marv smells it, and he's like, "Here, are you wearing aftershave?" He's like, "Nah, it's not aftershave. It's kerosene. The rope's soaked in it." And he goes, "Harry, why would anyone soak a rope in kerosene?" And then they look, and he lights a match, and he says, "Merry Christmas." And he lights the rope, and the fire's going up, and they start trying to climb up, but they don't, and they
Wouldn't
fall.
that probably burn him too if he was still
He's
soaked in it?
covered in the
Yeah.
kerosene.
It-
Yeah,
he
he
just
is
catch himself
that
on
kid.
fire.
He caught himself on fire. He didn't get the rope.
Yeah.
He would have had to like sacrifice himself and then grab the rope to get them.
Yeah.
He is burned alive right now.
Ah.
They fall through scaffolding and get covered in varnish.
They must have fallen now, like, between the both of them, 10 stories.
They're
Between
they're
all the falls?
so fucked up.
Yeah.
So Kevin runs away, calls the cops at a payphone, and tells them the guys who robbed Duncan's toy chest are going to be at Central Park, west of 95th Street. Look for fireworks.
Look for fireworks.
Kevin then tells them, like, they're running up. He's like, "You better get me. I'm going to call the cops." And then he starts running, and he slips on some ice and hits his head. And because he's a child, he's down for the count with that one slip.
Yeah.
They can get fucked up all day long.
All day.
He gets one slip. Joe Pesci and Marv bring him into the park, and they're going to execute him.
Yep.
And then he's like, "You got any last words?" And he says, "Fuck you, bitch." And he spits in Joe Pesci's face.
Yep.
And then Joe Pesci shoots him in the head.
Yeah.
It's fucking bananas.
It was pretty gory, if I do say so myself.
Joe Pesci says to him, they're starting to get surrounded by pigeons.
Oh,
So
my God.
And Marv's like, this can't be good. I don't know, there's pigeons everywhere.
Pigeons galore.
Joe Pesci said, "I never made it to the 6th grade, and neither are you, kid." And then Pigeon Lady shows up and tells Kevin to run, and he just does.
Yeah.
Because that was an option.
Yeah.
They didn't hold him. And Joe Pesci tries to use the gun, but it's covered in the varnish.
And he literally
it's
can't cock
sticky,
it.
and he can't get it.
Yeah.
And Marv just keeps yelling, "Shoot her! shoot her. And he's like, I'm trying to shoot her.
So wild. He's saying, shoot her!
Shoot her! She throws bird seeds and it sticks to them because of the varnish, and the pigeons just
Oh my
swarm
God,
them.
the pigeons, they just fucking eat them alive.
She laughs, and Kevin says, bye, thanks, before lighting off fireworks, because that was the signal for the police. He got fireworks second he got to New York. Full circle.
We're just watching these pigeons fucking tear them up.
Full circle. Cops show up, and they find Joe Pesci and Marv just getting attacked by the pigeons. I
Yeah.
wish they would have been like snapping bird necks while this was happening. Just going to because
Yeah, either one way or
that's
the
what would
other.
happen.
Yeah.
Like for sure, you're trying to kill the pigeons. You're not gonna let them do that to you.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I wish that would have been a thing. It wasn't.
Stomping them out.
They find a picture of them robbing Duncan's toy chest on them, and a tape that's written on it says, "Bad guys saying they'll kill me." Oh, fucking what's his name was when they got him earlier,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
were telling him everything they were gonna kill him. He was recording it with the voice recorder.
Such a smart little kid.
There we go. Marv admits to everything, including breaking out of prison a couple days ago, and says, "Hey, if this is in the papers, we're not the wet bandits anymore. We're the sticky bandits." Like, that's
Sticky.
sticky. That's STI. And Joe Pesci's like, "Shut up, Marv."
Fucking kicking them.
Back at the toy store, the cops give Duncan the good news, like, "Hey, we found them. We got all your money." And there's this note here attached to the rock. And he reads it, and it's from Kevin saying he'll pay for the window. "Thank you for the turtle doves." And he goes, "Turtle doves?"
Oh my God.
And he's smiling. Mom's running through the street. She's talking to the cops, and she's like, "I gotta find my son." He's like, "Did you file a police report?" And she's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Then trust us. We'll get him."
It's just some random cop on the side of the street.
Yeah.
Like she was just running up to everyone randomly.
And she goes, "Excuse me, do you have kids?" He's like, "Yeah." She's like, "What would you be doing if your kids were lost in New York?" And he said, "I'd be doing the same thing you're doing, ma'am." He's like, why don't you put yourself in your kid's shoes? Think about him. Where might he be?" And she's like, "He doesn't deserve this. He deserves to be at home with his family in front of his Christmas tree." And then she stops. She goes, "I know where he is. I need to get to Rockefeller Center immediately." And he goes, "All right, well, there's taxis everywhere. I'm on duty. This is where I patrol. I don't patrol Rockefeller.
Yeah, find your fucking
So
ride.
Get a taxi to Rockefeller. Leave me alone." Nah, he gives her a ride.
He said, hop on in.
What'd he say?
Yeah, hop on in.
He didn't.
Said, all right, hop on in.
Yeah, it's better.
Oh.
You did kind of like a country black man voice.
No,
'Cause
I
it
was
a black cop. You're like, "Oh, yeah. Why don't you hop on in, Miss Lady? I'll give you a ride anywhere you want to go." Ha
I was just
fucking
I was just
racist,
emphasizing it, and it just came off that way.
That was this is how black people talk.
Oh no.
Yeah. Kevin's at the
wasn't.
tree blaming himself for everything and saying he knows he doesn't deserve to have a good Christmas because he's a piece of shit and ruins everything.
He's
just,
right.
Just ask my parents; they'll tell you. That's what they've told me my whole life. Told me everything's my fault. Like just this poor kid.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't want any. I don't deserve presents. I don't want presents. I just want to see my family. Even if you can't even do my whole family, just my mom.
Come on.
Even if it's just for a few minutes, so I could tell her I'm sorry.
And
you're like, "Oh, this
immediately.
poor kid." But I just want to tell my mom I'm sorry that for the second year in a row, she was a bad mother and lost me on Christmas, and this time I ended up in a different city.
So it's my fault.
So it's my fault. I just want to apologize to her, and then I can go on. It's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Immediately, he sees her, and she's like, "Hey."
They have a running
They-
embrace
they
in
run
the
up.
arms.
He apologizes first.
Oof.
And then she apologizes, and they hug. And she's like, "Everyone's at the hotel because fuck Florida, it sucks. And there were no Christmas trees. There were only palm trees. And who wants to do that?" It's now Christmas morning. Kevin slept on all of the kids slept on a cot. Fuller slept in the bed by himself.
As one would who gets to pee.
Because he pees the bed, so,
So
he
he-
gets the whole king-size bed to himself while everyone else sleeps on cots.
That makes sense.
The parents got like a master suite, and so did the uncle and the aunt.
Yeah.
Kevin gets a bed.
Yeah.
Kevin gets a fucking bed, and
Come
it's
on.
bananas that he didn't.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Fuller wakes up, and it's Christmas morning, and he's pumped, and Kevin's like, Santa doesn't visit hotels. He's like, Santa goes everywhere.
Come on.
All right?
It's fucking
came
Santa.
here. He's like, guys, it's Christmas morning. Wake up. And they run through. It's a massive. They're in the fucking penthouse. They're in the nicest room in that hotel.
Huge.
They're running through everywhere, waking everybody up, and then they get into the living room, and there's toys everywhere because I went out of order here. During the night, we saw Duncan's toy chest truck at the hotel unloading a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So Mr. Duncan was like, I'll hook it up for Kevin.
2 doves.
He's a good kid. They all run in there. They're going through everything. Uncle Frank's like, no one touch any of my shit. I mean it.
These are my fucking gifts.
Buzz then takes control and says...
Like a piece of shit.
He's like, all right, guy, hey. If Kevin didn't fuck up so bad again for the second year in a row, because we all can agree it's his fault. He's like, but you know what? We all wouldn't be here with a truckload of all this free stuff, so I think Kevin should open the first present and toss it to him.
And I swear to God, he doesn't open the fucking present first.
No. Everyone else just starts going crazy. He doesn't even open it. He then slowly, well, say real quick. Buzz tossing the present. He's like, all right, enough of all this gooey shh. And the parents looked at him. He goes, show of emotion. Which is good. I liked it. I laughed at that. So Kevin doesn't open it. And while everyone is distracted with the presents, this 10-year-old boy who last year was left home alone while the family went on vacation, and this year got separated from the family at the airport and wound up in New York while the rest of them were in Miami. And this is the first... They've had him back for hours at this point.
Yeah.
Not days, hours. He sneaks out of the hotel room to go meet with a homeless pigeon lady.
Oh, my God.
Nobody notices. Why do the McAllisters get to have kids still? Why has DCF not shown up at their beautiful home in the suburbs of Chicago and removed all of those kids and put them with loving families that will take care of them?
It's fucking insane.
That is all I took away from this movie.
These
He's
writers
out there,
just so lazy.
He's out at Central Park. He's giving Pigeon Lady one of the turtle doves and explaining it. Then they hug, and he's like, you smell really bad. You're covered in bird shit. You smell awful. Go take a shower and clean yourself up.
Yep.
Rob Schneider delivers the room service bill, which bananas that they're charging them anything at this point. They've admitted responsibility for Kevin being lost, and they're like, but he's still got to pay that bill, 1,000%.
Which,
and he wants a tip from Buzz, and Buzz gives him the piece of gum he's chewing.
yeah.
Buzz is pumped reading the bill, and he goes, "Oh, Dad," and he gives him the bill, and then from Central Park. Like, Kevin is in Central Park. Dad is in the hotel. And Kevin
they try to make it seem like the hotel is right behind Central Park, but still.
It is. It's still nonsense.
But it's hundreds of feet.
We hear
Thousands.
Dad, and inside, we hear Dad yell, "Kevin, you spent $967 on room service!" Kevin gasps and then runs. Dad's not allowed to be mad at Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin could have spent any amount. He could be like, you know what? My 10-year-old son was in New York by himself. This is on me.
Yeah.
I'm eating this loss.
Yeah.
He's not allowed to yell at him over $967 on room service. Fuck Home Alone, Dad. Fuck that whole family. And guys, that's Home Alone. But stick around because we're gonna talk about it next week. It's Braden's Christmas movie pick. We're coming in hot, so stick around. And we're back.
We are back.
Hey, Derek Jeter. Fuck you.
Yeah.
So, Braden, as Christmassy as it gets,
Home
Alone 2 Lost in New York. But you know what movie is a little more Christmassy?
The Nutty Professor.
The Nutty Professor, guys. Like, he's practically Santa Claus in that movie.
Yeah.
You can't name a Christmas movie without naming Nutty Professor.
God.
You know what other movie is maybe more Christmassy? Equal to, if not greater than?
Oh, David. I'm thinking it's the Polar Express.
The Polar Express, guys. That's Braden's pick.
Fuck
Braden
yeah.
wasn't prepared. He was like, "No, I'm not picking. Like, you said you were gonna. I did Emily Rose, and then you were gonna do a Christmas movie." And then the listeners, I said, "Nah, I clearly said I'm gonna do a Christmas movie, and then you're gonna do one after me, and then the listeners." And he's like, oh, man, I didn't know that. And I played the audio. And he's like, all right, I guess that's what it said.
My
And then
excuse was he talked
And
so
then he
fast.
was taking time, looking through. And then he was yelling at Chase. Like, I don't fucking like Chevy Chase. fuck Christmas Vacation. Chevy Chase sucks. I hate all this movies. That's why I was like, hey, don't bring your anger out on Chevy Chase, man. You weren't prepared. It happens. He's like, you keep rushing me. I'm going to pick the Polar Express. I was like, yeah, great. What do you think I won't crush the Polar Express? You think I'm going to be like, oh, please don't pick the Polar Express. It's so bad. So we're doing the Polar Express, guys. Braden's pick.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to watch Polar Express before we do a podcast on Polar Express? 'Tis the season. You should watch Polar Express before we do a podcast on Polar Express. Here's where you can watch Polar Express before we do the podcast on Polar Express.
Oh, my God. Where?
It is available on HBO Max, Fubo TV, Philo, with subscriptions to all those. You can rent it for $3.99 on YouTube, Google Play, Apple TV, Vudu, Amazon Prime, or you can go to a Redbox at a grocery store near you and rent it for $3.99. I feel like Redbox was always an option.
And now they're just...
And they're just now being put on Google.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, don't forget about us.
Come on.
I can't imagine lately Redbox is just really getting into the game. I feel like it's always been an option.
Look at all those options.
So many options. Well, but like I got HBO Max, so there we go.
Yeah.
So
Just need one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why go to Redbox when I can just sit at home and watch it on HBO Max? But guys, that's the movie next week, Polar Express.
Oh, yeah.
And so, Braden, we just did Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, because it was my Christmas movie pick.
Yep.
We're doing Polar Express because it was your spite Christmas movie pick.
Yes.
But, Braden, we want the listeners to send us Christmas movie suggestions.
That's right.
Because we're going to have one that's released the day after. And you know what? We'll probably just release it on Christmas Day because why not?
Yeah.
Because we're not recording it on Christmas or
Yeah.
the day after. We're going to record it ahead of time. Like, we're not going to be like, oh, it's Christmas. Let's sit down and record a podcast and not be with our families and just you and me sit here and talk about movies. We're not going to do that at all. So it'll be the Christmas special.
Oh, my God.
But we want it to be their pick.
Yes.
So, Braden, where do they go to tell us their pick?
David, they just go to our website.
Hold on. We have a website?
Yep. 56kings.com.
So you mean FIVESIXKING.com?
Yep.
And what, just is there a tab up at the top that says submit ideas? They click on that and they go down and there's you put your name and then you put the movie idea that you want us to do and you say who you want bringing us scene for scene through that movie and then you click submit and then we get an email that says, oh, this person suggested this movie and they'd like this person to take us through scene by scene.
That's actually exactly what they do.
I mean, God, it's that easy. Why would you not do it?
Come on.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the Christmas season if you didn't go to 56kings.com right now and enter your suggestion for the Christmas movie.
That's right.
I mean, yeah, that's nailed it.
Oh, my God.
Nailed it.
So simple, so sweet, so holiday, Christmas. I'll go on. I'll make it
Well,
happen.
It's rule of three with comedy.
Yeah.
You did simple, sweet. You needed a third one.
But then I like
That's
to ruin
why
it by
I
going
waited.
to like 5
That's why
or
I waited.
6.
So you could do a third though.
Simple,
so holiday,
sweet, and salty.
Oh,
Who doesn't like their shit being sweet and salty?
Hey, Britt, I got a question for you before we sign off. It's kind of a personal question.
Okay.
When do new episodes of the 56 Kings podcast release?
Oh, David. Every motherfucking Monday.
Unless it isn't?
Unless it isn't.
Well, guys, you heard it here. New episodes of the 56 Kings coming every motherfucking Monday unless it isn't.
It isn't.
It's what we've been saying since the beginning, guys. You heard it here. Every motherfucking Monday unless it isn't. I've been David Breen. He's been Braden Bullard.
That's right.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We love you all very much. Say goodnight, Kevin.
Good night, Kevin. And peace out.
Bitch, I'm from Palm Beach County. That's where I'm from. When niggas get